Let's go. Don't stop. You got Super Day, Coach Kirk, Sir, and Todd the Magnificent. You're now tuned in to Bars and Hoops Radio, where the world of hip hop and sports live.
No, because it got to be up before. Just because you say all right, it still got to click in. Yeah.
It just came on. I was looking for it, like, oh shit.
Yeah, so the best American League and National League first
Good
round.
afternoon. Good afternoon. We are live. It is Super Dave along with Coach Kurt.
Yeah.
We got 3 Gregs in the house. Got Greg Totten GT. Are you with me?
What up? What up?
We got Slick the Relic.
The living fossil.
And we got Greg G Money Erskine in the building.
What up? What up?
All right. First of all, let's get this out of the way. Right quick. Peace and blessings, everybody. It is Memorial Day. The parks, the national parks, and everything's open. It's also paying homage and tribute to all the men and women that fought in this country to make things great. So we're honoring them. So it's Memorial Day. All right. So that's where we're at. And we have parades and festival, and it's the start of the summer season, close to the summer season. So again, shout out to everybody who's paying attention, who's listening, and blessings to all on Memorial Day. May you have a peace and safe journey wherever you are celebrating this holiday. All right, yesterday we had a great.
Can I say one thing?
Go ahead.
What's his name just passed away?
Charles Rankle.
Yes. Oh, rest in peace to Charles Rankle. Yes.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Finished yesterday. You said what?
He was 94 years old.
Yep.
19 terms in the House of Representatives.
This is 1971.
Yeah.
And he defeated Adam Clayton Powell.
Yes, he did. And defeated his son, too.
All right. So yeah, Charles Rankle was a great man up in Harlem. He fought for a lot of things. And just moving on, I guess he slowly will be missed. All right.
And he still lived in Harlem.
Right. That's correct. So
now you were saying yesterday.
Yesterday, right. We was here at Bars and Hoops. We had our annual cookout. All right, so we've been here 4 years. And shout out to everybody here at the Bars and Hoops station. All right. So we received an award. So I got a little chicken grease on the award after the fact. All right.
Wow.
So when I was packing up stuff, somebody put some food in the car, which I don't really do. All right. And
was that you, Mongo?
No, it wasn't him. We're gonna be nameless.
I'm just going to chill.
But
right
we received the Legacy Award, and I'll see if I can get it touched up or whatever the case may be.
Who was in the car with you?
I'm not gonna name no names. We just gonna leave it at that.
Undisclosed person.
All right. So I'm gonna just say Clarissa came with me, but she didn't go back home with me. All right. So,
and you didn't have the award then.
all right. So she wasn't the person.
Was it you, Clarissa?
She wasn't the culprit. All right. So again, I'm gonna pass this around. I want to thank everybody on our team here at First Stop to the Next Stop for doing our thing. It is called the Legacy Award, and we got that award for just honor and dedication and being here every Monday. Yeah.
Actually, we got it because it's just being here.
Right. It's part of the process. Somebody's got to do it. Right. So
still ain't come on.
And we're it. So I don't know.
Check your Facebook.
Oh my goodness. All right.
Yeah. But moving right along.
It says live, so I don't know. We'll look. Keep pushing.
No, it's on Facebook.
No, I'm talking about YouTube. It's not on YouTube.
Let me just click this again. It says you're live.
Yeah, you good.
On what?
Be on YouTube.
Well, I ain't get it yet.
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
You might need to reset it or hit it. Or
Okay.
something. I don't know.
I
You
got
wanna
it.
know?
I'm looking now and see if it comes up.
Bring pop up here.
No, it's over.
I don't know.
All right, y'all keep talking. I get it. Let's try it again.
All right. So anyway, yeah. So
Okay, I got it.
Oh,
all
we
right.
good. Yeah.
All right. Everything was beautiful yesterday. Shout out to Postel and whatnot, Raleigh Radio, Tiny, and Steel the Great. Shout out to all them guys, DOJ, and other everybody else. You know, they had DJ, had somebody working on the grill. Steel prepared food. He did his thing.
Mhm.
Everybody that helped out and whatnot and we contribute and whatnot. Shout out to Chef Primo. He cooked for us and whatnot, and we hit him off. So I mean, you know, it was great. It was festive. I hope everybody had a good time. Anybody want to comment or say any thoughts?
Somebody else want to go? Okay.
Yeah.
Food was good. Music was good. Everything else, people that showed up, I haven't seen in a while. It was
Right,
good to see.
right.
Good to see. You know, nice conversations. You know, and everything else. You know, shout out to Paul. Good seeing you, man. You know, keep in touch. Charles, everybody else that popped up, showed up.
George. Right.
George,
Todd. Welcome
Stamp.
back, Todd.
Stamp,
Back.
Todd, yeah, Todd, Stamp. You know, I haven't seen him in a minute.
What happened to Greg, man?
He was in Jersey.
Oh, right.
Rodney, my arch rival.
Uh-oh.
Rodney, yeah, good. Yeah, shout out to Rodney.
Yeah, did anybody want to foul Rodney when he came?
Yes,
I didn't
sir.
foul him when he
Yo.
got there.
Rodney said his first arguments was between Darian and Chris. He knows them before transit.
Before
So that-
transit, right?
Those were his
He
first
said that
arguments.
day. He just said-
Yeah.
when they
I was
walked in, he
I was
said-
dying laughing. I was like, yo,
Yeah,
he's
did
they
say
crazy.
live
that.
around the way.
Right, right.
So,
Yeah.
shout out to Darian. Yeah, I know
Yeah,
Darian had a good time.
Right.
And Chris,
Yeah, he
right.
did.
Hey,
Yeah, he did. He did.
Right. So
And Chris, right.
Yeah, I haven't
It was
seen
good
Chris.
to see them though. Man.
He was,
Chris old school. Chris was in my motorman class.
Oh, he
Oh,
was.
okay.
Yeah, we
Oh,
started
wow.
together 1984,
Wow.
January 15th.
And JC. And
Okay.
JC.
yeah.
all right. So that pretty much summed it up. And then so after that, you know, it was supposed to be from 1 to 9, but it was shutting down, and you know,
We know why I was shutting down.
because
It was
of
dark.
because of the Knicks
The
game.
majority of cats was Knick fans.
All right.
Yeah,
Go
but
home
there's
and
no
see the
lights out there,
comeback.
so you
I
gotta.
just told you.
Yeah, but it's still no lights out there. You gotta get it together before it gets dark.
Well,
No, they got lights up there.
they stayed
lights
out.
in there?
Yeah.
They
Oh, they
stayed
do?
out. Last year they stayed out to like
Yeah.
10, 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Oh,
we,
okay.
we had left and they were still out there partying.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
they was going. So
The lights come on.
but right, the Knick game.
Oh, it's a
sorta-
timer. It's coming
Right,
at a certain
but the
time.
Knick game showed us short.
Yeah, I
segment.
Well,
knew
they
that.
could have showed it. Yeah, people probably would have came
Yeah,
down here
so
and watched
yeah,
it.
Right,
they
right.
did. Still
Yeah.
was down here. So, let's go Knicks. Let's talk about it, yo. Let's get at it. Let's.
Well, you get the Knick fan. Let the Knick fan start it off.
I ain't a Knick fan,
I'll
but
start
anyway,
it off.
go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
go ahead, say it.
He made some adjustments.
I don't think.
Some I didn't understand. There's still some things. Well, he made some adjustments to the lineup. Let's put it like that.
Mhm.
But and he put in some players. Now, whether it was because guys was in foul trouble or
Mhm.
because they predetermined we're going to play these guys or whatever, I still got a problem with him making adjustments as the game go along. Whether guys are in foul trouble or not,
Mhm.
I don't think he makes adjustments that
Talk
way.
about Thibodeau.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
Coach Tibbs.
yeah. Coach Tibbs, right? And he's not that good at that. And the offense got to be changed. It can't be Brunson pounding the ball for 15
Other
Second.
team-
to 18 seconds, and then you try to make a move or pick a roll, and then Cat is just standing outside waiting to get the ball back or do something with it, or them guys on the wings waiting until Brunson dribbles and then he passes the ball and then they got to get a shot up.
Mhm.
There's no movement in the offense, so that has to be changed. But I don't think there's a coach or assistant coach on the bench that's going to actually tell him, we need to change this. I don't think none of them are
Qualified.
qualified enough
Or
to
have
say
enough
guts to say anything like that. Because you got to have a veteran guy there. Like, This is not working. You
But
got to
if it-
change the offense.
I don't know how many head coaches. I mean,
Oh, they got plenty of- they got
assistant head coaches.
They got plenty
The
of
whole team
Right,
work.
right. The whole second
Assistants.
row is all.
So how
all
many?
coaches.
So how many of them have been on a championship team?
Championship team?
Yeah.
Well, they all play.
No,
Mo Cheeks is there.
okay, so he should be the one to step up and say.
No, he's not that type of guy.
Right.
You
No,
don't
he
know
should
what
be the
his
one.
role is on the team. You got Mo Cheeks. You got Mark Bryant. You got what's his name? Son. Father. Right. You
Right.
got
Brunson.
what's his name?
Oh.
Othello Harrington is there,
Mhm.
and there's another guy there. I can't remember
Othello
his name.
from Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Get out of there! I ain't know
he's,
that.
he's on the bench.
I ain't heard his name in years.
Now, my thing
I know he was
is,
there.
I mean, Tibbs has been here 5 years now, right? So let's not act like we don't know what he's going to do
Right.
in every
Right.
situation.
He's been the same way. At
He
all
is
all
the most
teams he's
stubborn
been.
coach
Yes.
We say this
in
before the
NBA
playoffs.
history.
We
Right.
say this before the playoffs start with him every year.
Of course.
So,
No, but he's made, like you said, he's made stops at Chicago
Yeah.
and Minnesota and done the same thing.
We know what he's going to do.
Right.
You know, he doesn't alter his lineups. He doesn't alter his rotation. He never changes the
No.
style of play that he
Right.
has.
You're right.
He's always going to do
Right.
what he does.
but he
Right.
kept getting a
Now he'll get wins.
job.
He'll get
Well,
wins, and
well-
then he'll get to a certain point and can't go no
Right.
further.
Can you get a team over the hump playing the way that he wants to play?
I don't think so.
You know, and we getting ready to see. Sometimes you could get lucky. Sometimes the
Well, this
ball
is the year
bounces
that
your
you're
way.
lucky because you don't
Right.
have the powerhouse
Right.
teams.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Well, let me not to cut you off, but I think he exceeded my expectations because I thought his ceiling was the second round and done, and the way Boston imploded because of how they was so arrogant and cocky and taking threes and
Mhm.
not doing it was a combination of things
Mhm.
why Boston lost.
Mm.
Yeah, but that's their style of play.
Right.
Well,
No, the Knicks,
Well, if
to
it's
the
not
credit,
working-
the credit to Leon Rose, they've made over the last couple of years all their moves to match up against Boston.
Right.
We didn't gear our team for Indiana.
Right.
We geared our team to beat Boston. We went out, made the Anunoby trade.
Mhm.
We made, we gave up a bushel load of picks for Bridges.
Bridges.
So, these are the wings that we had to compete with their wings.
Right.
And lo and behold, it worked.
It worked.
Boston didn't play their best brand of basketball, but we have been winning close games all year.
Right.
As much as I want to kill Tibbs for certain things, give him credit. We win close games,
Mhm.
and we got a closer.
Well,
We have Mr. Clutch on our team.
Mhm.
So we wound up winning that series. But going forward,
Mhm.
he just does unimaginable things.
I wanna say something about that. I just think that it really don't help to bestow a title on somebody, Mr. Clutch, and you don't win a championship. You didn't win anything. It's more of a pressure thing. So like I get it that he's done some amazing things, but now if you don't win the championship and you was taking shots like you took a shot in game 2 and Towns is open on the left side and you pull up from 35 feet and you could 14 seconds left, you rushed the shot, and if you was Clutch, you should have saw the man open so he could have hit the 3 instead of a contested 3. So and this is something new. So
It's something new.
I mean,
but it's just
it's
observing
just
what what guys bring to the table.
Right.
I mean, Damian Lillard never won a title,
Right.
right? Was Damian Lillard clutch?
Oh,
Yeah, he's made some clutch
100%.
shots.
Was he clutch?
Yeah, he made
Did
clutch
he
shots.
get did he get the title?
He didn't get a he didn't get
No,
a title.
not this year.
But I'm just
Jelly.
saying. But I mean, clutches. When you watch the game,
Mhm.
you got to know who can you trust
Right.
at the end of a game,
And everybody in the gym know he getting the ball.
and we know Damian
and
Lillard.
he's still
And then
come through
and
a lot of
Brunson
times.
has proven to be that type of guy.
Yes. I agree.
He's the calming force on the Knicks. He didn't have a good
Right.
game yesterday,
Right.
but we can rely on him
Right.
to bring his game.
Right. No matter what.
And he's calm.
Right.
When he does stuff, he doesn't even start cheering and
Yeah.
getting all hyped.
You right.
He just
All right.
kisses
Do
his
his
threes
thing.
up to the side.
Let me shout out John Green. He apologized for not making it yesterday. So hopefully next year he made it. He said the original Mr. Clutch only won one. Who was that?
Jerry West.
All right.
West.
Yeah. And he continues to say he's the logo of the league.
Yes.
All right.
you know, he.
All right, so maybe
I need to ask a question though.
the proof is in the pudding. When they gave him the clutch thing, it applied pressure and he couldn't get it done. So,
Well, let me say this.
What would you rather have?
Jordan.
The championship or the kudos?
I'd rather win the championship.
All right.
Even if I'm the 12th guy on the team, I want to have a championship.
No, I'm talking about what would you rather have the title being Mr. Clutch or win the championship?
Listen,
I'm just asking.
there's no player in the NBA history that shoots over 50% in clutch situations. Right? Some of the best players in the world only make about 30% of their clutch.
Yeah.
Thank you, Greg. But the bottom line is,
we know you
so
looked that up. and shit.
so when you
Right.
but it's true though.
That's
But
true.
if you watch basketball, you realize, that in your imagination, you think Jordan made every shot.
No, y'all know-
But that's
he-
not
that's
actually
what
what
they
that's
show.
not
That's
that's
what they
not
show.
actually what
But
happened.
what's crazy, like what you said, even he might be at 30%, but everybody else is under him.
Exactly.
20%,
Exactly.
19%.
But what we see on TV, the big games that was on TV,
Right.
it just
Right.
seemed like
Right.
he came through
Right.
all those times and
Right.
whatnot.
It's-
Whether it was
and-
against Cleveland,
and-
whether
right.
it's against Utah
And plus,
or Portland, you
You've
know.
seen 100
Right,
Chicago playoff games
right,
where you only seen maybe a handful of games
games.
from other people.
Right.
right.
So
Well, was that because they were so much better than everybody else that didn't have close games like that? Where he had to come
that plays
through?
a part.
Yeah.
That plays a
And
part.
I mean, because think about it, that shot that he made against Cleveland. Cleveland had a real good team. They had
they had
a
a very good
possibility to
team.
win it all.
Price, Doherty,
Right. They had a
crew.
real good team.
They had a crew.
You know, if they had won, if you sit back and think about it, because they never got to that opportunity again after that.
Well, Michael was in the way of a lot of people. I think
That's
the
true.
Knicks was good enough to win back then, but Michael kept
Not quite.
Yeah, I ain't gonna say it.
Not
I ain't gonna
quite.
go that far either.
Well,
We always and that's my problem with this team.
Yes.
Because we always had a superstar, but we never put a complimentary
combination.
star
Right.
with that superstar.
They always
This-
wait till the person gets older.
Yeah.
Well,
They
they
break
had
up.
a chance. Bernard King got hurt when they got
Well-
Ewing. They
well-
drafted Ewing.
Well,
Bernard King got
it's
hurt.
not that Bernard got hurt. It's that we chose to not sign Bernard King
after
to
that.
a
Yeah.
2.2
Yeah.
2-year contract, $1.1 million a
And
year.
remember,
We
y'all
could have
was-
had Bernard
we coulda
King
had
on our
Bernard
team.
King. Yeah, you're right.
Y'all was,
You're right.
Bernard actually got his life straight too. Y'all gotta remember that.
No, he got.
Yeah, but he got it
before-
like
No,
way
I'm
before
saying,
he came.
way
Way
I'm
before.
saying that's how y'all wound up with him.
What
He was
difference
with-
does it
No,
make?
no.
with
Y'all
three-
drafted
He
him.
was with 3 teams.
Your
before.
team drafted
that's what I'm
him.
saying.
So
But-
what are you
but
saying?
that's when he was in
You
his.
didn't recognize the talent.
No, but that's when he was in his.
You didn't recognize
stop,
the
That's
talent.
when he
stop.
He was doing
Stop.
outside of.
That was when he was in Utah.
Trivialize.
Ain't no-
okay.
Jersey?
I mean, in
You-
Jersey.
Oh,
Yeah.
you just smoothed it out. I said, I was gonna say trivialize the 3 teams he went to prior to coming to the Knicks.
Yeah, you
Do
just
you
said
know?
him.
Do you know?
He just said him.
I'm asking
No, he
you.
didn't.
Do you know?
Yes, I knew.
Well,
Share-
share it with us.
share-
Why should I say it now after you didn't
He
say
didn't
him?
say
I
it,
only
though.
said
He,
Obviously,
I said
it's
one team.
Obviously, it was the Bullets, New Jersey, and
that the
No, the
Bullets
Bullets
was
are
after.
after.
you just said name 4 teams.
No, that's
Three
not what he
train.
said.
Name
not
the
I'm
paying
three.
giving you
attention.
all the teams.
No.
So what's the one that's
Now
missing?
forget it now.
No,
I don't know.
Forget it now.
I don't know.
I do know.
Which
So
one's the
say
third
it.
one?
Forget it now.
Which one's the
Forget
third
it now. I'm
one?
not
I don't
saying
know.
it now.
Well, yeah, no.
Golden State.
It's over.
Golden State.
Yeah.
It's
He
over.
played with a few teams.
It's
right?
over.
Oh,
Well,
Then
I'm
he-
trying to
then
explain
he have a
to
little stint
y'all,
with
he was
Utah?
going through
Yes, he did.
problems.
Utah.
That's when he
Before
had
he
the
got
incident
to
with
the
the woman
Knicks.
there.
When he
Yeah.
got to the Knicks, he had straightened his act up.
It was Nets,
So you
Utah,
saying the Knicks
Golden
would have never
State.
got
Yeah, he
him?
would have never got it. He
Hold
just
up,
stayed with
hold
New
up.
Jersey.
Hold up, he didn't even want to talk. Could you straighten him out?
Yo.
Straighten his act up.
Yo.
All right, thank
Yo,
you. So it was.
yo.
What?
You give him that. He give him that look.
See, I can't fight today.
Yeah, you
so
had the
I'm
Nets,
chilling.
Utah, Golden State,
It was
and the
Golden
Knicks.
State.
Right.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? These guys.
But
man.
he was always good.
All
No,
right,
he was
so
good, but he was going through his
shout
own
out to
off the
Kevin
court
Parker.
problems.
Shout out to John Green, Dale Prentice,
These guys would've never
Arthur
got him.
Nicholson, and Dal Bradley.
Y'all gave him up.
Parker said
He was
we
going
didn't
to his
sign
own
King
court
because he
problems.
refused to work out for them. That's not true.
Yo,
Hold up, say that again.
Parker said that we didn't sign King because he refused to work out for them.
Oh,
That's not true.
That's not true.
Bernard King played 6 games at the end
Right.
of the
Sneaker
season
contract.
before he left.
Yes.
To
And
fulfill
he,
that
av-
sneaker
he,
contract.
he averaged 20 points
20
a game.
Right, yeah.
And, you know, he wasn't his old self, obviously.
Right.
But, I mean, the guy was the first player to ever come back from
Major
ACL injury. You know, he set a precedent and made other players realize it's possible.
So
to
Paul
come
could
back.
go, that is true. So what happened? What happened was he was working out privately,
Right.
and then he came back and played. So if he came back and played 6 games, you mean to tell me that you was done with him?
You couldn't see what he had for
Right,
next
you-
game.
What he had
right,
left.
so
Exactly.
How is that not true? What you pick your poison and I pick mine. But that is true.
Right. And plus in the mid
Come on, Paul.
in the mid 80s, the team was all about Bernard King.
Yes, it was.
Right. He filled the Garden. I was in the Garden when
Yes.
he was dropping 40
That was you. I was in one corner. You was in the
on
other.
Boston. I was in the Garden
that
when he
was
was
up there.
dropping.
No, them
That
seats
was
were
up there.
$14 and they
Yeah.
were down
Wherever
low.
he was at, we was in the building.
Right.
and
I was
shit.
in the Garden when
Behind the
he was
basket.
killing Kelly
Oh
Trapilka.
my God.
Now, where is the Knicks' loyalty?
Yes.
So when he went through all he went through to
Back
recover,
to recover
right?
from that.
and then he signed with Washington for $2.2 million, 2-year contract.
Mm.
Like I said, I have this etched in my brain.
Mm.
Keeps me up at night because thinking that the Knicks could have what we would have been like
Yeah, you
if
were
we
in
had
that thing?
Yeah.
Right,
Ewan,
'cause
Bernard
I-
King, and Mark Jackson.
'cause
Mark
Parker,
Jackson.
Parker
King-
said he was there too. So I know I ain't sit with you guys. So me and my sister was behind the basket in one corner. Parker, you might have been mid corner, but I don't know. And maybe you was behind the basket. The other
I was
place.
there.
Anybody else want to sign up?
King was more than
I
King was more than enough to compete with Jordan back then. So, and then you had Ewan, so I could see that.
Yeah, but even before
I could
that,
see that.
when they had Bernard King, they had Rory Sparrow
Right.
passing.
Yeah,
out.
I remember
Turner.
Sparrow.
They didn't really have a team.
Yeah.
They were relying on him.
Edmund
Right.
Sherrod,
He was a
remember
team.
him?
Oh my God, Edmund
Ray
Sherrod.
Williams too, though.
Yeah, man.
But
And we took Boston to 7
And they-
games.
I remember
Yeah,
that.
they was gonna give y'all
I mean,
Ewan anyway.
Cornbread
so-
was talking junk. He ain't scoring this and that on us and whatnot.
I was in the house
And
when he
took,
did.
He took him
when
to
he dropped
took him
that
to
40.
Yeah, I remember them
But
back
he
to back
did-
50
he didn't
games.
score what they were saying. What Boston premise was not letting them score 40 every game.
Every game,
And
but
that's-
Cornbread
and-
was
and
saying
they-
he ain't getting 40 on him.
Yeah.
I seen the interview. They had an interview.
Right,
That's
I
right.
saw it too.
He said he ain't getting 40 on us.
But we just couldn't beat them at Boston
right.
Garden.
That was
We
the thing.
won all our home games,
Mhm.
but we couldn't win at the Boston.
We had
Garden.
Truck Robinson.
Oh,
Also, right. So he
Truck
was like,
wasn't bad. Come
he
on.
wasn't
Truck-
good. Shout out to
Chuck was probably the same height as Bernard King.
yeah, or
maybe
6'5",
shorter.
right? He was a short power forward. They 6'5",
Barkley
6'6",
size. He was Barkley
and they
size.
and they measured him
He
at
was
6'7".
he was a Western Conference power forward.
Yes.
That's
Right.
what he was.
Hold up! Shout out to our boy Ace, who's watching from ATL.
What's up,
Shout out
Ace?
to Ace.
Hey,
What's
What
good,
up,
Ace?
What's up, my
Right.
man?
I mean, we should be up giving him a stand ovation.
Yo,
man.
Ace, I'm
And-
gonna
and
get
shout
you
out-
out here. We want to see you dance a little, man.
And shout out to Tory Mackey also on the check-in.
What's
the
up?
Knicks'
What's
biggest
up?
shot to win is when the Knicks had Xavier McDaniel.
X
That
Man.
might be a good point.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, so
they gave up too soon on X Man too, because I think he went to Boston after he left. the Knicks.
yeah.
Did
Did we have a conversation about that? I remember us.
That was-
we were pissed before
Yeah.
we like
One
talking
of-
about that.
Yeah, they just bailed. They bailed on a couple of players.
Xavier didn't know what to do when he was supposed to be chilled and sign the contract, and they were going to try to get rid of either it was Oakley or Charles Smith, one of the two.
Probably Charles Smith. Yeah, they should have been got rid of him.
Should have never got him.
Yeah, that's true.
Mark Jackson.
Mark Jackson.
should have been. It should, like it was Karl Malone and Stockton. It should have been
Mhm.
Jackson and Ewing
Right.
for a whole career.
Well, you see,
the
they
whole
did. The
career.
next year they got Strickland with their pick.
Right.
They just took Strickland because he was the best player
Right.
available.
But he was nice,
He
though.
only
Right.
played a
Yeah,
year.
but they already
he only
had a
played a
point
little
guard. I know,
over
but
a
I'm
year
just
with the
saying.
Knicks before
He
we
was
traded
nice.
him for Mo Cheeks.
But think about this: who was the coach then? Y'all remember?
QB? Was
No,
it
Don
We talking
Nelson.
about
No.
Patino when
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
It was
ding,
Vic
ding,
Pitino?
Pitino.
No, that was
Vic
after
Pitino.
QB.
No,
That was after
Vic
you.
Pitino.
Yeah.
So, and he on the pro level, he was sort of messed up. So because
Yeah.
he had a conflict with Rod. and whatnot. And
But no, I don't believe that. What
Well,
I
yeah, you
what I
should
believe
believe it,
is
What you
what
remember?
happened is that Mark Jackson made the All-Star team his second year,
Right.
right? And they made it to the second round of playoffs. They swept Philly with the broom,
I remember
and
that.
then they lost to Boston second round. But what happened is he had a knee injury early in the year,
Mark.
right? And then after he had the knee injury, he didn't play no ball over the summer.
Right.
Mark
Right.
used to
Came
play
in
in
overweight.
every tournament in Queens.
Okay.
Mark used to be even when as an NBA player, he used to
Right.
play in the park. So
Right.
what happened? He came back to camp that
Mhm.
next year. He was out of shape,
Okay. Yeah.
and
yeah.
we got off to a slow start, and that's when management panicked and traded Mo Cheeks
Mm.
for Rod Strickland,
Mm.
and the rest is history.
Instead of
You
letting
know,
You're
Rod
right about
rock.
that.
Yeah.
No, bro. I think
that's
you
what
missed-
happened.
You missed the page somewhere. Now.
No, I ain't missing
Listen,
page.
Listen, I'm telling you that when Mark was hurt and Strickland was supposed to be in,
Strickland was playing well.
But Strickland was a rookie
Right.
when Mark got hurt that
But he
year,
was
his
playing
second
well.
year.
Right.
He playing okay. He was a young kid.
Yeah, he was young,
He was
yeah.
only came
But
out as a
everybody was trying to figure
sophomore.
out why
Yeah.
are we drafting another
Right,
point
right,
guard
Yeah.
when you got
point
one?
guard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You try to figure that out. And then yes, I remember
Yeah.
him getting hurt
Yeah.
at the end of the season. I remember that.
and then when that season was over, I think we won a series. If I'm not mistaken, we beat Boston. When Ewan hit that long 3-pointer fadeaway.
Okay.
Okay, if I'm not mistaken,
That's a playoff series?
right?
Is
Playoff
that
series
the early
against.
series?
Yeah,
when they was
the
down,
early
when they
series.
was down?
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
remember when them being down like 2-0, and then they won 3 straight.
yeah.
You talking about that year?
I'm not sure if that's exactly how
Was
it went.
Mark on the team when they?
But Mark was on that team.
Okay.
But Cheeks was starting.
Okay.
So then after that, Mark started coming off the bench.
Right.
But then that next year, Mark reformed his body.
Right.
Mark lost a lot of weight.
Yeah.
He got in
Came
tremendous shape.
Right.
But management was sticking with it. We was rolling with Mo Cheeks.
Right.
Everybody knew Mo Cheeks was
Right.
done
Right.
by that time.
Right.
But those are the type of mistakes that
Right,
we've made over the years that have kept
Right.
us from winning championships.
Yeah.
So I'm frustrated because this is the first time since '73 that we've had 2 legitimate,
Players on the team.
Right.
all-star,
All-star
bona
players, right,
fide
right.
players. We got a 3rd All-NBA center and a 2nd All-NBA point guard
Right.
with 2 complementary wings.
Mhm.
Well, who
So-
does Sprewell have on this team? I forgot.
They had
That
the
was
shooter,
Allen
Houston.
Houston.
Oh, yeah, right.
who they paid a lot of money to
Right.
get from Detroit.
Marcus Camby.
Houston
Marcus
and Sprewell
Camby.
was a good group.
But I
Was good
remember.
tandem.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
They got Sprewell from Golden
It,
State.
it was
Yeah.
it was it was something I remember where Strickland was, and it just stuck with me because I sort of held a grudge against Pitino because he's like, I ain't got time for your Joe Cool Bull and whatnot. He was talking about Strickland
Okay.
and whatnot because Strickland was saying, just like trying to deal with the starting role while Mark was hurt. So it was just annoying. They had a little strife going on. And like I saw Rod a couple of years ago, we was at a Nick thing and we was talking, but we never brought it up. I never brought it up. But
Mhm.
I remember that, like, for some reason, it just stuck with me. That was part of the reason why, like, he wasn't handled as well as Mark. No, and that's why they sort of soured and traded him. And no, just the Mo Cheeks, but like, once he went to San Antonio,
He was past. He was past his.
I mean, he was
Way
who
past
got
his
who got the better part of the deal?
No, man, we know that ain't even close. That's
So he wound up not having no point guard except when Mark, and you had to wait for Mark to come back.
Mark got traded.
Mark got traded.
Oh, so he wound up
Yeah.
having no Rod Strickland,
We have Mo Cheeks, and then they
right?
got-
But
they got
then Mo
somebody-
trade, right? So then who was next
I don't
up?
know.
we had a litany
Yo,
of
my God.
terrible
Next up,
point
though.
guard. We had Doc
We
Rivers,
got Doc Rivers
we
and
had
Oh, right,
Derek
right.
Harper,
Doc, Doc,
Derek
right.
Harper,
Doc.
Chris
Doc
Childs,
Kiss Trials.
Right,
Charlie
Chris Childs.
Wood.
Right.
Charlie
I mean, we had a
Ward.
litany.
Now I remember him.
That's-
Now.
What's the name you said before?
Edmund Sherrod.
Edmund
Edmund
Sherrod.
Sherrod.
The
I
Bernard
remember
King,
him.
Chuck Robinson
Yeah,
era.
I remember
War
Rivers,
was war,
Ward,
but like, think about it.
and Harper.
But they was good then.
Right.
But
But Strickland wound up being nice.
yes,
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Did Strickland make an All-Star team?
Never. I
Right.
think he might have been the best player
Right.
that I
But
can
never
remember
made it.
that never made an All-Star team. Yeah,
And Mark Jackson wound up having a great career.
yeah. I mean, when he retired, he was second all-time in
Right.
assists.
He's still up there in top
Yeah.
10.
Yeah,
that's what I'm
assists,
saying.
right.
Well, let's bring
That's
it. Let's
uncut-
bring
that's
it back to
unbeatable.
the modern.
But let me just before you
Second
move on.
spot. He like
When the
12
Knicks
pounds.
traded him, did he go to the Clippers
Who's
before he
this?
got to Indiana?
Who's that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's
He
how
played,
they. Okay,
he played
that's
with.
how they-
Actually, the first year he got to the Clippers, he linked up with Dominique
Dominique
Wilkins,
Wilkins,
and they
correct.
was doing work
And
over
that's
there.
when Doc.
That was the
Rivers
first. That was the
got
only
traded
time the Clippers ever won when they had
Them
them.
too, them too.
Yeah.
I
Is
forgot
that-
Dominique
to.
going
Yeah.
in.
And Doc
Is
Rivers
that
got
after
traded
Boston
also.
or before
Right.
Boston?
Huh?
Dominique was
Dominique got traded to the Clippers.
Right.
From Atlanta.
Right.
that? Oh, and then he went to Boston.
right.
You got
Because remember, he had his surgery, and then the following year they got rid of him. The year after that,
Right. Then he went to Boston.
It's crazy, but we're gonna come back to. But it's the first half hour. It's first stop to the next stop. The Super Dave, Coach Kurt, and the 3Gs, the Greggians, Slick the Relic
Living fossil.
in the building. The phone lines is
Triple
open.
G's.
516
Team.
206-0711. Matt, you out there. Shout out to you. Shout out to everybody that came out again yesterday. I also meant to mention Bo Man. I was like, he's like, Dave, were you drinking too many Coronas? I'm like, no, it was Heineken. No, I don't even remember drinking. But shout out to everybody who came out yesterday. Ant Green,
Yes.
yeah, D Gores, everybody that
Right,
was in the
right.
building.
See my
Showing
man
love.
Bo there.
Yeah.
Charles Mann.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bo.
And Andrew
Bo was-
Jackson.
Bo was talking
That's my
smack
man.
about the Knicks who get lucky winners.
Yeah, he a Philly fan.
Yeah.
Like me.
Look over here.
Like me.
Look over there.
What is wrong with them?
Look at your own problems.
Right. All right.
Shout out, y'all can reach us, watch us on YouTube. First stop to the next stop on YouTube. You can catch us on the app, Boston Hoop app, free app, and on Facebook.
All right. 516-206-0711. So the score is 2-1. Indiana up 2 games over the Knicks. Next game is tomorrow night. What are we doing? Who do you got? Do you think we're lucky? Do you think it's NBA theater? Because just say Indiana won 3-0. Will anybody be watching it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I would.
They would.
I'm still watching.
I'm
They
still
still
watching.
Got to
Are you
take the
watching
crookeds
it
with the
both
straight.
eyes, or you watching
They
it
watching it with both.
50%?
I'm
They
watching
watching it with both
I'm
eyes.
watching.
I'm watching because
Gotta
we
watch.
like the sport.
So wait, what do y'all think about him starting Mitchell Robinson and Cat together? Which I think was a waste.
Towers.
Even though I didn't see the beginning of the game, I still think it's a waste because who one Mitchell Robinson is in the paint, he takes up space,
Blocking
and,
space.
right? And then who are the two of them guarding? Neither one of them could guard Siakam.
Right.
So you got the big guy, Siakam, and then 3 guards. Like, who are they starting? They should, if he's gonna change somebody, if Hawks can climb, he should have put Achua in.
Right.
Like, I'm gonna keep saying it.
Yeah,
Achua needs to play.
you do.
He needs to play.
Listen,
Am I
Yeah,
wrong?
No,
No.
Chua,
I ex-
Chua,
I'm 100% with you,
Oh.
but nobody, Thibodeau, like Todd said earlier, he's stubborn about his ways of coaching, and we were politicking for Chua to play. I mean,
There's something going on why
like,
he's not
for
playing.
a long time.
Because there's no reason why he can't play. He's athletic enough. He can stay with Pascal.
I expected it.
He's a decent rebounder, decent defender, and he can score a little bit.
I
Score
and-
better than
and this
Robinson.
and this is why at this point right now I have to watch game 4. I can't give because I said I wanted Precious, Achua, and Shamit to see some burn. But if foul trouble is the reason why, if foul trouble is forcing your hand, then I can't give him credit. If foul trouble is forcing your hand, can't give him
Well, that's
credit.
how they
and
got
you didn't
when
put
they
Achua-
got foul
and Achua
trouble.
didn't get in.
Well, when they got in foul trouble, some of those guys got in. I mean, when they
Ju-
got in foul trouble, that's how they
Just
got
like
that
Kenny
lead.
Smith said
right.
with the bars, Thibodeau
Won't
won't
play.
play 9 players in the baseball game.
Right.
That's some bars right,
Right.
there, like they said.
Right.
Like, and
And
he
it's-
played
and
9 people, but
He
it's
put-
only because
He
of
was
foul
Foul
trouble.
trouble. Right. So now we got to see game 4. What happens in game 4?
He gonna go back to what he
Right, he might go back to his ways.
No, I think now once
You
he
think so?
starts something,
Yeah.
he'll continue it. But
Until
like
he put it-
taking Hart out the starting lineup, I think most people would like to have seen Hart be out the starting lineup
Right.
the whole season because he's more of a bench player than a
Right.
And
starter.
who else didn't get
So-
no burn?
So, in famous words of my
Cameron
son,
Payne.
you
Payne,
you
exactly.
don't give credit to common sense.
Right, exactly.
What he did
Exactly.
last night is common sense.
Right.
And Greg, you just said Pascal Siakam didn't do well, but last night he didn't come off on us. Like he knows he can take OG whenever he wants. He played with him for years.
Yeah, he did.
He knows he can take OG. OG can't check Siakam.
Copy.
Yeah,
OG
so you had to
is
do
great.
something.
He's one of our better defenders, though, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
he
but
can't check Siakam.
Siakam is
He got too many
Well,
moves.
Too many
just-
moves.
Just say
Just a
that.
second. Does Siakam bring it every game? So
No,
like,
not every
if-
game.
Now,
if he brings it tomorrow, then we got a problem.
Now, that's
And
what
where
that's what I was gonna say. Now, if Indiana winds up with a 10, 20-point lead tomorrow, they're gonna know that look, we gotta close the door on them. So I'm expecting them to be highly aggressive tomorrow as far as getting built if they can build that
Well,
lead
if he comes
and
off
holding on,
and
hold
got
on
it
to
going early, then you got to make
right.
adjustments.
And then I said this last week. Brunson got to stop getting in foul trouble. I know when he sits down and they make that run and all that, but ultimately he can't get in foul
That's-
trouble.
all right,
Like that was very scary.
Let me ask
Come
you,
on.
number 5 was the fifth foul? Was that a foul?
yes, it was.
Look,
Which
you at
No,
home. First of all, you
What,
in
what else are they
Indiana.
gonna call offense?
no,
That was
Well,
not
that's what I
an
was
offense.
asking.
number 4 foul.
No,
when
number
when okay, I'll talk about the elephant in the room, right? Which is this unbalanced refereeing that's been going
Oh,
on.
all the time.
Okay,
All the time.
now when Nemhart was going to the basket, full speed ahead, Brunson was giving ground.
Right.
All he did was give ground
Right.
because he didn't want to pick up a foul.
Right.
Nemhart lowered his shoulder
Yes,
right
he
into
did.
Brunson's chest
Right.
and knocked him down. Right? They call a foul on Brunson,
And
and then they go to the
table, right?
to the table and they confirm the foul.
Right.
There's no way that should have been a defensive foul.
Or-
All he did was
That was the
give
fourth. That
ground.
was his fourth.
He
That
just
was-
kept giving ground.
No, that was the fourth.
That was
That
fourth
was-
foul.
that was a foul.
That was
So
fourth.
that's the foul I'm talking
Okay.
about. The offensive foul
Right.
that.
Yeah,
So I got it wrong. So
yeah, that was the fourth foul. That was the fourth foul.
You know, my TV broken. Maybe Greg TV broken. But I was thinking that it was the fourth foul. But the fourth foul
Yeah.
was the offensive
Right.
foul, and they challenged it, and they didn't reverse it.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
that
I'm not
was-
positive, but I don't think
That was a hard
one scorer table challenge has went the Knicks' way in this whole series. They coming up with all these things like when Towns got fouled.
I was getting ready to say
Right
that.
when Towns got fouled, he was fouled. They called the foul.
Right.
Then they go to the table, right?
Reverse
And
the
all of
ball.
a sudden,
off.
they use this new term now: marginal contact.
Right, yes.
The marginal contact against
So-
Karl Anthony Towns
I know.
was
Well,
insignificant, and then he pushed off on
Right.
and the
was
foul
on
on
Halliburton,
Anthony
right?
Towns.
Yes,
Yeah,
it was on Halliburton. I have this to say. They all push off when they go to the basket. When they go to the basket, everyone uses their off arm
Off arm.
to gain advantage, and they don't call Arsenal's foul. They call all these tick fouls, which drives me crazy. Or if you stand next to the person, I'm gonna use you as an example, Marco. I'm not doing it on purpose.
Don't touch me.
They push off to go get the ball.
Right.
That's an offensive foul. You're not supposed to push me to get the ball.
Right.
Move
Getting
your
out of
body.
hand, getting out of
Just
hand.
turn and then move your body to
Right.
the ball, and then you get it. Don't push me to get the ball.
Right.
And they
It's
never
contact,
call that.
Right.
That's never called. But they'll call this in a tap on the wrist.
Wow.
Right.
Yes.
But see, like this one gets me upset. Like they'll be physical on certain plays, and then a play like they called something that was the other day. That was something way on the wing, and like he's getting by, and he got a little bump, and they called it. And it was like, yo, what? Come on, all the other stuff that's going on, and y'all.
I didn't think the foul on Towns when Nemhart was pushing the ball on the break. Towns was pressuring the ball,
Right,
and the long right snuck up behind, knocked the ball away,
and they called
and he
it.
got down. They called the foul on Towns.
Right.
Well,
You know, and I know everybody went crazy
Yeah.
when they called that foul on Bridges with 9 seconds
Nah,
left.
I remember that play. That play, I remember.
Even Van Gundy was like, that's a foul.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, they talked about
In
it.
the 2025 players,
Right.
that's a
Right.
foul.
Yes.
Right.
I mean,
They've been real bad, inconsistent.
The thing
Oh,
about it
man.
though is Brunson's been in foul trouble for like the last 4 or 5
well, they
games.
seeking him out. You know,
He can't, point guards can't be getting in foul trouble.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, but how is he going to get out of foul trouble if they go and pick and roll and
Right.
and then
They're
they
seeking
switch
him
it?
out.
He can't be.
So what is he going to do? Just let the person score?
you just back up
You
and
got-
let him.
Look, Tim's the coach. He got to figure it out. What I'm saying
No, the
is,
So
player
excuse
gotta
me,
figure it
had
out.
they not,
excuse me, GM. If you was the GM, what
I
would
am
you
a
be
GM.
doing?
My name is Greg Moore.
What would you be doing? You gonna take him out the game? You're not gonna let the person just go to the basket.
Can I answer that?
Yeah, what?
He's the GM in Brooklyn. He's on vacation.
Oh, copy.
So-
we in Queen, we in
Because
Long
look,
Island.
If
Right?
he
no,
fi-
no, he's
look,
not in Manhattan.
It was important for them
He on road.
to win that game in regulation. They had 2 cats in foul trouble. If that game go to overtime, they probably lose that game. Because they got Cat in foul trouble, they got Brunson in foul
Are you
trouble.
talking game 2?
No,
Talking
now.
about
Now,
last
if
night.
they went to
Last
overtime,
night,
they
they would've
might.
lost.
Yeah,
that
but
game.
they pulled it out. We've been winning
Right,
a
but
lot
I'm
of
just
close
saying,
games.
like, this is stuff that you got to concentrate on later because that's done happened already where Brunson's in foul trouble, he got to sit.
Well, they specifically, like Greg said, on
Right, I
the pick and
know.
roll,
They
they
got- they
specifically
targeted
looking for. Boston did the same thing.
Right,
Tatum was
right.
always getting the pick and roll and trying to search for
Right.
Brunson to switch off.
But this is
And
why.
they got-
But this is another reason why, like we just said, this is another reason why he has to use more of his bench.
and not
You know what
just
I'm saying?
that.
He has to.
You just
Well,
we
he
want
tried
to.
to sprinkle him in and out like the last minute or so of the game. He tried.
Yeah,
to
I know he did that a
substitute
few
offense
times. Yeah,
defense.
just to avoid a cheap foul. That's to avoid a cheap foul. You know what I'm saying?
So y'all think that the official is horrible?
It's been inconsistent.
The officiating,
Inconsistent.
yo, every sport we talk about officiating. So this is normal for us right now.
So-
It's just the fact that the Knicks is y'all team, and y'all see it now because y'all actually watching. Like, I know y'all see it on other games, but it don't make as big of a deal as right now. It's your
Right.
team going through the bull crap.
Well, I think that sometimes, and it might be my TV, that the officials was trying to help the Knicks, but then other times they were making bad calls against them.
Well, you got to
So-
see which referees are the ones that are making the calls. Like, what's his name? Scott. What's his name? Scott. I forget. Scott something.
What was the brother that called the offensive foul? That should have called the offensive foul on Brunson last night.
Last night?
Yeah,
I forgot.
he's
his name.
horrible.
Mark Davis to me. I don't like Mark Davis, but that he was there the game before.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Mark Davis. I don't like Mark Davis. And I forget this guy's name. His name is
I can't take Tony Brothers.
yeah, I don't like
when Tony Brothers
either.
does our game, I'm
yeah,
like,
I don't like
uh-oh.
Tony Brothers either.
I'm like, yeah. But the bottom line is we shouldn't be able to point out so many plays that are ruled against the Knicks. And like, I hate this new term, marginal contact.
Right.
You know, like when OG fumbled the ball in game 2, but then he went up and I think it was Siakam.
It was a
or-
free
or-
ball, right.
And he
That's-
hit his arm.
But
right.
that was
He
a free
cleared-
ball, though.
No,
That's
but
what
you-
they were saying.
but-
That's what they were saying, but
his
he hit his arm.
his arm wasn't allowed to follow through.
So
And you called the foul. So now you're trying to say that
And you can see
You
he
didn't-
hit his arm. Right. He
you're
couldn't follow
trying to
through on the
say you
shot.
didn't see
I
that.
remember that.
See, but they justify it by using marginal contact.
right,
I don't
right.
like that term no more.
That is horrible.
It's a new term.
Yeah, it's a new term that they use
been
now.
using it.
Marginal contact.
Scott Forster. That's what I'm.
Scott Forster.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it. Thank you.
And Victor Graham, let me shout him out.
Vic.
Parker, Vic Graham. Shout out to D Middleton, Nez, Kenneth Daltrey, and Tracy Smith. What's up, Tracy in South Carolina?
My
All right.
man Vic.
I was
All right.
about to name them. So, like you said, it's Scott Foster,
Scott
Tony
Foster.
Brothers, James Capers, Mark Davis, John Goble, David Guthrie, Bill Kennedy, Ed Malloy,
Mark Davis.
yeah, Mark Davis, and Zach
Yeah.
Zarba. Those are the
Zach
refs.
Zarba is a lead official. Mark Davis is a lead
So-
official.
Okay.
And I think Scott Foster.
Foster.
I think he's a lead official too.
So we
and
should
Tony
be-
Brothers.
We should be sorting out who's the worst officials.
I think Tony Brothers.
And these guys, these are the playoff guys.
Right. Yeah. And when Scott
So that
Foster
means-
was out part of the year and came back and got to play, do
Let me
Right.
ask y'all, in game 1, did y'all see when Hollenberg took the shot? They said he double dribbled.
Mhm.
And then, did
Yo.
y'all see that?
Oh, the first game.
Yeah, I
The
see.
one that
Yeah.
where
The one he
bounced.
shot over.
Right.
Right.
He
And-
double dribble?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you look at it, he got the ball and he put both his hands back when he tried to go backwards. He put the ball down and he tried
both hands on it, and
He was
then he
running
got
away from
Right.
Mitchell or
because
something.
he had lost the dribble
From
and then he put
Robinson.
his hands
Right,
both
right,
hands on
yeah.
the ball and then backed up after that.
But it should have never came down.
No,
to that.
it shouldn't.
But
But when you keep ignoring things that
I mean,
cause
yeah.
a team
Right.
to, if a proper call was made, a team loses the game.
Right.
Just like when they didn't call the goaltending when Brunson was going to the basket.
Right.
right,
A clear goaltending hit the backboard, then you blocked
It
it.
was a lot of things. right.
A 3 referee, somebody's supposed to see that call.
No,
Now,
I mean, that's
supposed to,
inexcusable not to see that call.
Well, and then some people could say, well, the Knicks caught a break when they played Detroit and what's name Hardaway took the shot, but Hardaway also moved
Oh,
over.
yeah.
But they didn't call because it's a last second shot. You usually don't make calls.
But that was a
Yeah,
foul.
well,
last second shot.
that's like a Hail Mary
Yeah, it
in football.
But he tried to get the call.
There's contact on Hail
There's
Marys every time, but
Yeah.
you don't reward
No.
a guy with a Hail Mary
Right.
at the end of a just like in basketball, a guy throws a heave
Right.
shot
He
up.
shouldn't be getting
Come
rewarded.
on, he's not
Don't
getting
get
rewarded for that.
But
But I'm asking. Okay.
but what my problem is like if we get a break or something, it's always like karma, something gonna come back and bite us. So don't give me no break. If it ain't up, it ain't right. We gotta win when we
They're
win.
gonna do that though.
Yeah, they will. They're gonna make it up some kind.
Right, they make it up. 3-4 plays later, you be like, oh, they giving them that now. So yeah, so that's what be happening.
All right, Matt, go ahead, talk to us. John Janowitz is watching. Shout out to
Well,
you.
What's going on, family? How's everybody up
Happy
there?
holidays to
what's
you,
up?
my brother.
What's up, Matt?
Happy holidays. What's up, G? Yeah, man. I'm just glad to see this game. It's bad when we have to watch this game and worry about officiating at the same time. You know, but they won. But it's all for nothing if they don't win tomorrow. They got to win tomorrow because they dug themselves a hole. So it's a new series. I'll be honest. I was not going to watch the rest of the series had they lost Game 3. You know, we beat them at their own game, which the Knicks got to make a difference. You got to either score more than them, or you got to play the physical game. Listen. Tibbs did something, and he announced it, which I was shocked about, changing the lineup. Yeah, we need these guys to come off the bench and do their job, man, because they was getting tired. So we won game. It's a series now, but it still won't be a series if they don't win tomorrow, in my opinion.
Yeah, hold up,
You know,
Matt.
so-
Hold up one second. So one thing I just mentioned that earlier, and most people said they would watch the game, but if you're down 3-0, you're not watching it with. I feel somewhat like I'm gonna watch it, but I'm also channel surfing. I'm not watching it.
You're not watching it with enthusiasm.
Right. I'm watching it pouting. I'm watching it like.
You're not watching it
Right,
passionately. There's no
right,
passion there
right.
now. You feel it's over.
It takes the fire away from it. So
Right.
that's part of it.
Yeah,
I think it's NBA theater because
Yeah, I was told I'm not a true Knicks fan if I don't watch it if they down 3-0. I got other things to do. I'm not going to waste my time waiting for them to lose one of those games and be heartbroken, dejected, or whatever it is because of how the series was going. You know, the refereeing is bad. It's terrible on both sides. The Knicks get calls that they shouldn't get, and Indiana get calls that they shouldn't get. It is bad. So hopefully they just blow them out tomorrow, and it won't come down to the refereeing. So we'll see.
well,
But see, that's the thing. If they can't be falling behind every game.
I agree with you 100%. I don't understand, like, all
Because-
4 games, even the Minnesota OKC game
I think that's his.
series has taken a turn for me. If Minnesota brings what they bring, game 3, OKC, this can go 7 games, and it can be anybody's series. After game 2, I thought that OKC was the clear favorite to win it all. I'm not so sure now, and I guess that's a good thing. I think anybody can win this. Indiana can even go 6 straight games or 6 out of 8 games. Whole thing. That's how it feels to me.
The meter. See that meter?
yeah, that's the phone. That was what I was hitting.
Oh, okay. Because I see.
Yeah. So
Still there,
yeah,
Matt?
Matt, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
What?
Yeah. Bring it down a little.
Sorry, you trying to cut me off?
No,
You trying to cut me off?
not at all.
No, you was popping.
You was crackling, bro. You was crackling. Well, I'm gonna say this, and I was telling this to Kurt yesterday. I never remember any basketball games back in the days when other teams won that the teams were getting blown out. Like OKC got blown out the other night. And other back in the days, if you won by 10 points, 2, 3. Right. It was a battle to the end.
Oh, I remember some Lakers and Boston getting.
But not in the beginning. Maybe the last game for them to get 4 games.
In the beginning,
Scott Wedman.
Yeah, I remember that.
Wedman hitting 11-11.
I remember that.
They won
it was like the first or second game.
First game.
They got blown.
I think they got
Shout out to Lester Hall-Bell.
I think they came back and won the series.
Boston blew the Lakers
that's what I'm
out
telling you. That's
30-something.
That's the Scott Wedman game.
Right.
He went 11 for 11 or something. He blew them out like 40
I remember
points.
that.
But then they
but it don't happen often.
Yeah, they lost the city.
It happens.
But let me ask you this. Matt, you still on the line?
Yeah.
I'm still here.
Do you think, like in the other series, you think what's name is getting the benefit of the calls? Shea. No, you don't think so?
No, I don't believe so.
That's up and down too. That's inconsistent. It's just inconsistent coaching. You know. I mean, referees.
He get the benefit of the calls.
Shea.
He doing the same thing like Harden used to do.
He's a crafty.
He is crafty
player.
He is no. You can't even compare the two.
Yeah,
to
why
me.
not?
Harden and Shea.
They both get
Shea is
old school.
Getting calls. I'm talking about
old school. Right. The handle is tight.
No, I ain't talking about the game. I'm talking about getting benefit of calls.
No, I don't believe.
You don't think so?
Shea is not as good as Harden.
No, I'll take Shea over Harden any day.
Shea
and Harden's fine.
Heyday?
Yes.
Listen,
yes, I would. In a heartbeat, he'll be my point guard.
I hear you.
Listen,
Harden only wants to do is shoot.
Listen, I'm co-signing
in assists.
All he wants to do is shoot.
Dude, he led the league in assists.
How many years? How many years?
Let me say something. I'm gonna say something I've been pushing for the last couple of weeks. Right?
Aaron Rodgers,
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is the most efficient guard in basketball since Michael Jordan.
I'm not doubting,
and I'm including Kobe.
I'm not,
and I'm including Tracy McGrady.
Kobe wasn't
I'm including every guard that's played since Michael Jordan. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is the most efficient guard since Michael Jordan.
Okay. I'm not saying that he's not. I know he's good.
If you take it, hold on. If you take him and plug in him into any other good team, he makes them better right away. Any team.
Yeah.
You put him on Boston.
He's not a point guard.
He is complete. He's complete. He's everything.
What is he?
He's a guard.
He's everything.
He's not a point guard.
Because he's scoring? Bro, that dude is
true.
I'm with you, Greg.
Greg,
I'm right here with you, bro.
Yo, that dude is the truth.
Oh, he's good. I'm not taking nothing away.
Not as efficient as Shea.
I know. That's okay.
Shea shoots 50%.
What you got?
Real quick. This is what I say about the guards in this series. So they all trust their teammates and they play according to their point guard. Brunson is the only one that pounds the ball a little bit more, that he has to trust his teammates a little bit more, and his teammates have to find a way to rally around him. Indiana has that with her Halliburton. Minnesota has that with Anthony Edwards, and definitely they rally around SGA in Oklahoma. They bring their game, you know, and they say, listen, this is our job. That's the man right there. This is our job. And when you're on the court, you got to know who the man is, and you got to do your job. Then, in my opinion, the rest of the team wasn't doing their job until last game. They wasn't doing their job, in my opinion.
Well, don't
the
you
first
think,
game, yes, they played well. But on defense, the first half, they sleeping through the whole first half.
Man,
like,
don't you
like,
think
we
that
want to
is
get down
because of
20
the offense,
to come back
the way
and
the
win the game?
offense
That's how they playing to me.
Don't you think it's because of the offense that they depend on Brunson to make plays, whether it's scoring or setting people up? He's pounding the ball, but it's because of the way the offense is situated.
Either Brunson's not trusting them to as he should, or they're not playing with him and through him.
No, that's the way the offense is constructed.
I see. In the first 2 games, Hart's passing up a whole lot of shots. He's open.
Like, but he's not a shooter, though.
Like, shoot the ball.
That's why he don't want to shoot.
Confidence.
I also see in the first half, Bridges missing a lot of shots. Bridges missed like 7-8 shots.
Because he's garbage.
Those are your
why.
shots. You got to make those.
Let me share this with y'all.
Disagree.
Now, I don't know if anybody else heard this, but from what I understand, the way it went, now it could be a fairy tale, but they said Hart went to Thibodeau and asked him to start Robinson over him because he wasn't getting it.
He wasn't getting it.
Well,
He wasn't getting it. He was having
he wasn't feeling a part of the starting lineup.
that. He wasn't.
If he
getting
did that,
things
big
right.
ups to him because that change helped the Knicks be in the game. It looked like the whole 9 players that played except for
Nobody was saying that
I think
when
he
they
should
were
get in the
down
game
to
as well.
Ain't nobody was saying
Change the
that when
game.
they were down to
Listen, it's the Knicks' responsibility and the coach's responsibility to put your impression on the other team. They was letting Indiana do it for 2.5 games, and they was up 20 points. They could have ran away with that game. It could have easily turned ugly if it wasn't for Towns' performance.
And you know,
This
Towns' performance
series
was in the
is
fourth
on
quarter,
Brunson.
man.
and now check this out. Now that you done brought that up, Matt. Now imagine you not getting the calls with the refs. So this is
Yeah,
why. If this is why it's
you do.
imperative that you can't be dropping back, you can't be falling behind like that because
You can't.
you're already,
I agree with
you're
you.
already arguing
100%.
about the refs.
You're right. You're right.
So
You're
now
right.
you got
You're
a
right.
20-point
Hopefully that
deduction
changes.
with
Hopefully
the
that
refs.
changes tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't believe.
You-
I still feel that what's the name's hand was forced. We gonna
Whose hand?
Thibodeau?
Tibbs. So
Oh.
we gonna see what happens
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Right.
Well, he
right.
ain't gonna make
Look,
too many changes. He ain't gonna do
Yeah, I
but so
know.
much.
I'm just saying.
You know, he stick to what he do.
See, and he's also in the category right now of because we just brought up where he's been. He's a recycled coach. Kind of get recycled.
Look,
I'm being
I think
for
this real
real.
quick.
Well, he's had
Real
three
quick,
head-
and
three head coaches
I'm gonna let
before.
all the callers throughout the nation that's waiting to call in
The nation.
on this day have some time too. Kids get one more year, and hopefully they change a piece or two with somebody that can play a two-way. You know, you need a big 6'7", 6'8", 6'7", 6'6" guard out there like the kid from Atlanta. Daniels, you need somebody like
Dyson
that. One of the
No, Dyson
twins.
Daniels
You
can't
need
shoot.
somebody that can
Stop.
come
But they
in.
need a
sell-
shooter,
in the
Matt.
airport.
They need
Oh,
a
yeah, yeah.
someone.
Matt is in Atlanta. He's trying to get rid of Dyson.
Yo, you
Go
need a
for it.
shooter, homie. A knockdown
Yeah.
shooter.
Go back. Y'all need Scott.
Dyson
back.
Daniels can't shoot, man. He can play deep, but he can't shoot.
Yeah, first
No,
team.
well, he can shoot enough to where
No, he
he
don't.
can be in the game long
No, he
enough to
don't.
Brunson,
No, he
Brunson
don't.
can find him
Are you
I don't
trying
and
to
he can get some
trade him,
easy
Matt?
baskets.
Yo, you in Atlanta and you
turning-
can't see that, man?
Defense turning the basket.
Dyson Daniels can play D.
He
He's
can
not
play
a scorer.
defense. He's not a scorer.
He's not a scorer.
Even when he was
I'm saying we don't need him to score. We got enough scoring. You need to stop somebody sometime. I'm not talking about a scorer.
You can
We need somebody
you
to play
need
both ends of the floor. The
If you
kid
get a
is good
3-and-D
enough
guy,
to
yeah,
get
okay.
10, 15 points a game in the game.
yeah, Dyson Daniels had the most steals this year since Gary Payton.
Yeah.
What's Mikhail Bridges?
And that's what I'm saying. We need a big defensive swing man, in my opinion. But other than that,
And they don't
if I'm gonna
play
watch
for him.
tomorrow's game.
Right.
I hope it turns into a whole new series, and the Knicks have to take it out the referee's hands by being in the game from whistle to the end of the bell. That's all I gotta say.
All right. Well,
Appreciate it.
we thank
All right,
you.
brother.
We thank you.
All right,
And,
man.
Right. Don't
Good.
throw in the towel, man, if they should lose because they're gonna come back to Garden and win, and then they'll have to go to Indiana and win game 6 and come back and force the game.
Yeah, you
7.
missed the barbecue, man.
Yeah, send me some pictures, man. Give me
Yeah.
some pictures.
Green was here. Green was here.
All
Yeah,
right.
Green came.
Yeah. Yo, did y'all see that videos, man? I was down there at my stage peeps house, man. That's the type of party we're gonna have, man. When when and if y'all come down,
All
here, all
We
right?
coming. We coming.
We gonna be there.
All right.
Copy that, man.
All right.
Y'all enjoy it, man. Great
All right,
show.
great.
Keep doing your thing up there. All right.
All right, man.
bro.
Peace.
All right. One.
No, what? I'm sorry.
All right, let me beat this right
Mhm.
quick. So Torrey Mackey said in the beginning of the season, Hart said he liked coming off the bench, but answer that, Hart started all season. So he never came off the bench. So and John Green said Brunson tried to get people involved, but if they miss their shot, there's not much Brunson can do but shoot, you know.
That's
Yeah, but he-
that's
I mean,
debatable.
the trust in
man.
the
He
players.
I mean, he
That's
says not much Brunson can do.
First of all, you got to put someone in the opportunity and know their game and how they like the ball
Where
and
they
what is
want
short.
it, yeah.
You can't just pass somebody the ball and they're not in their spot to shoot because everyone doesn't know how, even in the NBA, how to
I got you.
make to make their own shot.
Create-
So
create
be
their style.
creative,
Mhm.
and it's the truth.
Yo,
right?
I'm just when you
What?
saying that, I'm flashing back like you said he played. Man, when you wanted the ball,
Exactly.
and he like, yo,
Shout out to Sandy.
What?
Rest in peace,
Yeah,
my
rest in
brother.
peace, right? He's
Just
giving
get
to
it
you,
right where you want it.
Put it where
And then you
want
got people sticking you fire in the hole. Let them have it.
it. Okay.
Bottom of the net.
Everybody got to realize also
All of
that
my head.
Tibbs-
I'm sorry, kid.
Tibbs is a disciple
Yes.
of Van Gundy.
Yeah.
And if y'all remember Van Gundy, he used to just play Allen Houston and Latrell Sprewell, and they went one on
Let them do
one,
their thing.
and
right.
and that was it. It wasn't no ball movement on those teams or whatever, And that's what we have now. Julius Randle, all he did was dribble, pound,
right.
and he wouldn't pass the ball until
Right.
the double team was suffocating him,
Mhm.
So,
right? So you have to, if you see something going on all this time, then you have to realize that this is just how he envisions offense.
Right.
He lets his players play, his best players
Right.
control the ball.
The ball, let
It's
them
as
do
simple
what they
as
do.
that.
Right.
We don't run any plays. Like I agree with Kurt. I've been saying, all year, there's two players we should be having plays for, Bridges and Towns.
Mhm.
Play to their strengths. Karl Anthony Towns, what does he do best? Shoot, set, shot, 3-pointers.
Right.
Right? Have some plays where you're setting screens and he could get a set shot 3-pointer.
Mhm.
Not offer the action,
Right.
but actually design something so he can get that shot.
Right.
And Bridges is a little bit like Rip Hamilton. He
Right.
can move around the ball
Okay.
and hit a mid-range. Set up a play
He got
for
one
him
of the
to
best
do
mid-range
something like
in
that.
the
Right.
Right. But we don't do
One
anything
of the-
to facilitate him getting plays like that. And that's my problem with this offense.
Nice.
That's why we get off to such slow starts
Mhm.
because we playing one-on-one. We're not warmed up yet.
Mhm.
So we don't score.
Right.
Possession after possession. Then next thing you know, 20-point lead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Let me say this. Mackey shot back. He said hard started because Robinson was coming off an injury. Anybody want to answer that? Because
I
Disagree.
don't know. I
disagree
don't know.
too, because
Disagree.
Robinson never was starting. Robinson
No.
didn't start last year.
No, he
Robinson didn't start. Well, Robinson would have started last
Yeah,
year,
he was injured.
but he didn't.
He was injured.
He was injured, so he didn't even. He played beginning of the year, and then I don't think he would have been starting this year with Towns being there. He
Yeah.
would have been the backup.
Yeah,
Right.
he was.
Just how we talk about they always want to shoot a 3 and never go for a 2. There was a fast break where that dude Shump, what's the name?
Shumpert.
Yeah, it was on the left hand side. If he'd have went to the basket, he would have had an easy bounce pass.
Right.
He drips out to the 3 and messes up the break. So
Mhm.
now he has to pull it back out. And I'm going like
2
play.
points in the
Yo.
It's modern day basketball.
That's
Yo,
it. Exactly.
It kills me.
I hate
Yeah, but
It
see,
kills me so bad.
right, because you got your boxing IQ says to take the 2.
Yo, boxing says cut to the basket.
Yes.
That's the way.
Yo,
that's the way most people.
When I even rewinded it and looked at it again, I thought I was bugging at first,
Right.
and I was like, "Yo, he
So they all
drifted
do that.
out."
Yeah.
And if he'd have just went to the lane to the
Yeah.
basket,
Easy
he'd have gave it to him and laid it up.
Mhm.
And you know when you see the easy tools, like a few days ago, when it's late and it's close and it's tight, you better get that 2 points.
So we just talk about
No.
player situations. Let's get back to the coach for a second. So again, you said he was a disciple of Van Gundy,
Yes.
but Van Gundy is a disciple of Pat Riley.
Pat Riley.
And Riley had the Lakers,
Magic Johnson.
and
Yes.
well, but he was able to run a small rotation with those guys because you had like
had Magic, though.
you had 7 Greyhounds, right?
But you had the
The
probably the greatest point guard.
right?
Yeah. Well,
That's
you
gonna
had
average
Worthy who
12.
could run. You
Right,
had
he's
Kareem
gonna
if you
act-
slow it
right,
down.
he's gonna
Right.
act- No, but see,
that
but look, you got, like you said, you got
Green and
you got Byron Scott and Cooper. They can shoot mid range and threes. You got Worthy who could run the wing. You got Captain Skyhook.
AC Green, and you
You
had
got AC Green for
Kurt
defense.
Kurt Rambis.
Right.
Yeah, Kurt Rambis for
and
rebounds
that
and
was about
defense.
it.
I'm saying though, you had people to do.
But they had
certain
players.
things.
Had
But then you
players.
had Magic had the vision to see people.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Even the Pat Riley Knicks were assembled good. They just They just couldn't get past the
He didn't
Bulls.
have a
Bulls.
secondary
They
all-star.
need one more superstar.
They needed a secondary
at
all-star.
least an all-star, right? At
Right.
least
Well,
He needed a secondary all-star.
If he would have played Rolando Blackman, they would have had a
We
championship.
all talked
But
about that.
he wanted to go with Starks for 2 for 18 and just let him keep shooting.
and-
And Rolando Blackman can shoot.
That's what
Yo, but I'm saying, but the other guy can shoot. He's a bona fide
Of
shooter.
course he can.
No matter if he's old or not, he could still come in for a minute or two and hit
Right.
a jumper or two. Come
Yeah,
on.
he went down with the ship.
Yeah, they definitely
He
did.
went down with the
He
ship.
definitely
Yeah,
did.
they could have been used.
Yeah.
Is that part of the curse? Or do you believe
No.
the Knicks are cursed? Or
Nah, I don't think.
I don't
that's
believe they
curse happened.
cursed.
The curse happened when they gave y'all Ewing in the draft. That's when the curse happened.
Stop
yeah.
it. Stop that crying.
We can talk about that.
Be quiet,
think
Nick.
the draft
Nets
is
fan.
somewhat
Crying.
fair.
Stop crying, that fan.
Oh, come
I
on.
can't be
Stop
honest.
it.
Stop. We all know it was
Listen,
great.
Maybe if y'all draft
so
better.
that's where there was a
So,
curse.
but
Yo.
you a net fan, you crying over
I'm
here.
not crying. That's a curse.
Yo, I had this
Stop that
conversation at
We
the
giving y'all
barbecue.
this,
We have
guys.
one
Watch
guy.
it go down.
Hey, Greg gonna go with me. I had this conversation at
It's great.
all of them?
All of them.
I ain't
Except
going-
for
I had this conversation at the
I ain't
barbecue
getting on
with
that
Paul,
kayak.
and Paul pulled up all the Nets draft picks.
Uh-huh.
You can't name me 5 guys since they've been in the NBA. 5 guys that have been all-stars.
5?
5
From the Nets.
that the Nets drafted, not guys that they got in the trade. The Nets drafted.
Talking about Derek Coleman.
Derek Coleman is
Kenny
one.
Anderson made an all-star team.
Kenny Anderson with the
Kenny
Nets?
Anderson made an all-star
With the
team.
Nets?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Kenny made an all-star
I
team.
don't remember that.
Petrovic?
No,
Dra-
they didn't draft him.
Yeah.
Jonathan Pass.
He got traded for Portland, right?
But,
Yeah,
but they didn't draft.
Okay.
I'm talking about 5 guys that the Nets drafted.
yeah.
Brooke Lopez, maybe.
Brooke, yeah. I
By
think Brooke-
accident.
Yeah.
Oh,
By accident.
What, that
He
got,
made it by accident.
oh,
no, he didn't. He was
somebody
a good
got
low
hurt.
post player.
Somebody
Yeah,
got
he was
hurt.
good. Look.
I don't know.
You can't name me one.
Yeah.
I'm from Brooklyn. Kid.
What
Kenyon
difference that
Martin.
make?
I-
Don't ask me about New Jersey. I'm from Brooklyn.
What difference does that make?
I just told you what it
They
made.
still the
He
Nets.
didn't survive until they came to
Thank
Brooklyn.
you. Thank you. Don't
Oh,
ask
so
me
you
about-
wasn't a Net fan then?
I was a sporadic fan.
What kind of fan was you then?
Fair weather.
Player fan. You already told you that.
Whatever.
Sherman Douglas,
That don't
Derek
count.
Coleman, Ronnie Sykes.
That's Syracuse. That ain't no Nets.
They was on the Nets. What are you
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about?
Oh my god.
They was
Yeah.
on the Nets. That's when I was a fine.
Wait, Kenny Anderson.
That's when I was
Yeah,
a
Kenny
fan.
made
I don't
an
remember
all-star
Kenny
team.
making that also.
Yeah, Kenny made an
all.
all-star team. I know.
Okay.
I know. No,
So
my
you take
Knicks.
it back? It's
No,
fine.
I don't take it back. It's only 3, 4.
Yeah.
That's 4. And
Yeah.
how many years?
Chris Morris.
Yeah, I was thinking
No.
about Morris,
Chris
but
Morris
I don't
didn't
think
make
he
the
never
All-Star
made the
team.
all-star team.
Chris Morris is the first round pick. I mean, was it draft? They got drafted.
Yeah,
Chris
he was
drafted
drafted.
him, right?
He
He
was
went to
drafted.
Auburn.
Yeah, Auburn. Chris Morris jumped out the gym.
Yes.
Yeah, he had a good
Yes.
game.
That was
But,
another long line of guys that Auburn had. Because remember, they had the riflemen.
Yeah,
They had Barkley. They
yeah,
had Morris.
yeah.
There was another guy
Chuck
missing.
Person.
There's another guy missing.
Yeah.
But they always came out of Auburn. That's it, man.
But I one day I was sitting around.
Bernard King.
my
John
guys.
Green said. Did Bernard King? Yeah, maybe Bernard did.
Bernard did not make the All-Star team when he was with the Nets.
Nah,
No.
I don't think so.
he should have won Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, he should
It was
have.
Walter
Yeah.
Davis, Marcus Johnson, right?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And but Bernard was.
Somebody want to check that? Bernard King, did he make the All-Star team? With
I'm
the
sure he
Nets?
didn't make it with the Nets.
Let me look.
Yeah, look
He
it
didn't,
up.
he didn't make it with the Nets.
Because I'm thinking Buck
He
Williams,
made
but I'll
it
look.
with he made it with Golden State.
Golden State.
Yeah, but
So I see. I'm
But-
looking at standout names. So I see King here. I'm just looking at standout names.
All
I
right,
don't
look at
know.
standout names
I
because
see Buck
you
Williams
ain't
here.
gonna find
Buck
Williams.
Buck, yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
I see
Yes,
Cliff
that- okay.
Robinson here.
Buck Williams. Okay, we
Cliff
give you that.
Robinson wasn't drafted by the Nets.
Yes, he was.
Yes, he was.
Yes, the other Cliff
I'm
Robinson.
looking at
Yeah,
their
yeah.
draft pick.
The
The
other
one
one.
that played.
The one at
There was
Portland.
Portland,
Not the one that went to Portland. The other one got drafted by
got
the
Rory
Nets.
Sparrow,
Oh,
Mike
no.
Cheminsky,
Ooh,
No,
Michael
Nah.
Korn.
Michael Cook. They was in the same draft.
Albert King was there. Buck Williams.
Albert King's another one. Remember?
Underachieving.
Underachieving. And so was Derek Coleman
Hold up,
underachieving.
Sleepy Floyd is here.
Eric Sleepy
He
Floyd,
didn't make
That
it.
was-
like a
Nah.
6-man of the year, I think.
Who,
One
with
With the
Sleepy
time.
Floyd?
Nets
Did he make?
Yeah, he's here.
He might have made it with Golden State.
or the Lakers? Didn't he go? Did he play for the
You
Lakers?
talking about Wiley? He said he's talking
While
about Wiley
they was
still a
with
Net.
the Nets.
Wilding.
Right.
Right.
So did Bernard King make it as a
I'm just looking at the draft.
All right,
I'm
somebody
looking at
gonna-
the first round draft.
Somebody help
That's
us
all.
out.
Paul put me on
I
this.
see Chris
All right,
Murray. I see Chris Morris.
Who do we have on the line? Go ahead. Ed,
Good afternoon.
Go ahead,
sir.
bro.
My
You.
up there.
What's going on?
Yo, I'm making it, man. I'm making it. Man, I'm just sitting up here in the car listening, driving down south. I'm over about 3 hours away from Georgia.
Okay.
So, you know, making it happen, man. But I didn't watch the game last night. When I got home and relaxed and everything else, I saw the scoreboard, and there was no reason for me to turn on the TV.
That's a 20 point. That's a 20 point.
We,
deficit.
we know you had a long
You was
drive
at the
ahead of
20
you, man.
You was looking at the 20 point deficit, right?
Right.
Listen,
Bo
when I
Man is
saw the
watching. Shout out
scoreboard
to Bo.
and I
Bro.
saw halftime, there was no reason for me to turn on that TV.
At halftime, it was 13.
They cut
Now,
it to 13.
I would say this much,
So that's still.
and I will say this much: the Knicks, like, and Dave, I told you about it. That song by Tina Turner and them, where they like it rough. They like it rough. They don't know how to go out there and just win the game. Now that first game what Matthew was talking about, the Knicks went out there and blowed them out, and then turned around and lost the game in the fourth quarter like it was nothing.
Yep.
There was a
Yeah,
lot
you're
of
right.
mistakes there. A lot of mistakes there. Turnover after turnover. You know, in order for Indiana to even win that game, they was giving those turnovers over like it was nothing. So, and then Indiana shot that lights out with that dude. They didn't put a hand in. They didn't play no defense, and they wasn't playing no offense. So they blew the first game. So that game was for the Knicks. The second game, again, the Knicks had that game for the taking. That was poor coaching on both first and second game. But this time, Thibodeau, he showed his ass. It don't mean the courage, but he showed it. I'm like, why do you have Towns sitting on the bench? Right? Now look at this game they just won. Imagine if you would have had Towns sitting on the bench. They wouldn't have came back and won that game in the fourth quarter. He didn't even get, and Towns wasn't even in foul trouble. And you sat that dude on that bench.
No, you're right.
It's clear that if they lose this series, it's going to be about them first two games.
He could have came in there and possibly
especially
won
that
that
first
game
game,
for you. But you sat him on the bench to the last
Maybe the second.
2 minutes and 50 seconds, and then you decide to put him into
They
the
had the
game.
lead in the first.
Well, I'm like saying, yo,
second
he could have
game.
played fourth
They
quarter with you,
lost to that
and you
second
could have
game.
possibly won that
But
game
it still was
also.
close.
Right.
So it's like when you're looking at these teams and you're looking at the coaching and you playing to the sprint, you don't want to put in Chua for whatever God reason. Maybe he didn't. Maybe Chua didn't make up his bed and you felt like you shouldn't be on the floor. It's crazy. They are doing things. The Knicks are doing things to hurt themselves. They are not fighting a good fight. Yesterday was a decent fight for them to come back. Tomorrow, it's all eyes on the Knicks. I don't know. Maybe I'll watch it. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm gonna go. Hey, listen. I'm not sure. Maybe me and Matthew will go look at it, but I don't want to tell Matthew I'm gonna leave if they go down by 15 points.
Did you hear what Matt said?
Matt said if they lose tomorrow, he ain't watching them. He ain't watching it ever again.
He's not even gonna watch them at home.
Anyway, I wouldn't watch game 4 or 5 or whatever game they're gonna look at if they lose tomorrow.
What did you say? The Knicks in 9? Did you say that yesterday? You said the Knicks in 9.
He said they come on at 9.
I got a question. He brought up coaching, right?
Yeah.
I'm
Okay,
gonna start watching The Wire tomorrow. I'm gonna go back and start watching The Wire tomorrow.
I thought
don't know.
Carlisle.
If it-
Is it me? I'm sure y'all gonna agree with me. Is it me, or does it just bother you when TJ McConnell get in the game and killing us? Is it just me?
You know, I always hated when the short white guy came in.
And he can't. Don't shoot a jump shot.
Nice.
Everything is going to the
I always
basket.
hated it. Like, yo, look at this little pest.
He just running around all over the
Yeah.
floor.
Oh, he's just killing
I
us.
always hated that.
He's just killing us. I can't wait for him. So at the end, when they didn't put him in the game, I'm
Right.
so happy because I said, if he's in the game, we're dead.
Yo,
We are dead.
but you be rooting for him if he on your team, though. You like, yeah, get him.
Yeah, exactly.
But he a pest.
He like one of them guys. If back in the day he would have came to the thing. He would have got nailed to the floor. But they don't do that no more. So man,
There's always them guys like that, man.
Oh.
You see, like every
pesky.
got the little pesky dudes.
And then like what's his name can't check him. Hart can't check him.
Right.
And then
He get to where
McBride can't check him.
Right.
He goes around Brunson.
Yeah.
He even had Bridges
Run the
on him, and he
screens.
scored on Bridges last
I
night.
know.
I mean, this guy is just so
Yeah.
annoying.
Right.
He is just killing us.
But Ant made a good point
Mm.
in game 2, which we never discussed.
Nixon 9.
Right. 14 seconds left. You got a timeout.
Use it.
Right. What you saving the timeout for? Don't roll over.
What, the second game?
Well,
Second game.
yeah, I'm gonna cut Tibbs. I'm hard on Tibbs, but I'm gonna cut him a break.
On that.
Now, what I think they was thinking of is they didn't want him to give a foul. See, if you take a timeout, the other team knows
Set up.
completely what strategy they
Right.
want to end that game with. Okay, you're gonna let him drill a little. As soon as he's getting ready to shoot, you foul him.
Right.
So I think he wanted more of a scrambled situation where the defense didn't know quite what to do. You know, Brunson just took a ridiculous shot in that situation.
It wasn't a high percentage.
Right. It definitely wasn't a high
He didn't have
percentage.
to. He didn't have to pull up for that.
No, not
and
that
it was
shot.
covered.
Yeah, not
and
that.
again, to the left, Towns was open.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Towns didn't even shoot.
None of
No,
us.
he didn't touch the ball.
None of us expected.
He didn't
him
take
to
a
shoot
shot
that
when he came back
I
in
didn't
the
expect
game.
him to shoot that.
Yeah, but
shot.
I think he was trying to shoot it before he got fouled.
Foul. Right.
You know, so
But see, the thing about it is he's been so sound late in the game that was a surprise.
That was a
shot.
yes, bad
He's
shot.
been so sound late in the
Yeah.
game. You
Clearly.
figure he milked the rest of the. It was a what was it? 1 point?
No, it was
No, it was more.
it was more than one.
It was either
Three-
three.
it was 3
3-point
points,
game, I
right.
He
think.
was going for the tie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
going for the top. But see, once you lose that rebound, it was over.
Yeah.
Green, you still there?
Yeah, he said.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
You can't shoot that with nobody under the basket for you.
What? Well, you
Yeah,
got
but let
remember,
me
like
let
Dave.
me ask you a question, Greg. Let me ask you a question. Right? When you, now, if it was that, if we were talking about that last shot, right? And I'm just saying, on that last shot, if they was going to foul him, why wouldn't they have fouled him before he even crossed over with the ball when he first got the ball?
Before he had pulled up to take the three.
Exactly. They let him come all the way down. Now, if they wanted to say, "Oh, we only going to let you get 2 points," they would have fouled him as soon as that ball got into this. They would have
Yeah.
just fouled him.
And they would
Yo,
just
you
took
only-
two free
Yeah,
throws.
but they, I think Brunson shot it before they even thought he was
Thought
going to
about
shoot
it,
it. Nobody was prepared for him to shoot
No,
it
exactly.
at that point.
Mhm.
Everyone was shocked.
I was. I
So
knew
the defense
I
was
like,
shocked.
what the
We
hell
was
is
shocked.
going on?
Coaching was shocked on
I
both
was shocked
teams.
on that too.
You know, so
Right.
That
So-
was
and,
good.
and that's why I say
no,
a lot of that is poor coaching. He got out coached. I'm not saying that Christine's coach is 100% better, but I mean, like, come on, bro. Indiana's playing to their strength. They playing whatever they got. They gonna put on the floor.
Yeah,
They
but
don't
is
care
it
who he is.
poor?
Whoever they got,
is it
they gonna
out-coach-
put him on the floor.
But is
Now, if
it
he go out there and give you 6 points and he give you 8 annoying points, it's 8 points.
Eight
Little dude
annoying.
went out there and shot 8 and got you 8 points. We ain't set up no play for him, but he got me 8 points.
I hear you,
Tibbs
bro.
ain't doing that. Tibbs ain't giving these guys a chance. He's looking down at the bench and he was like, "Anybody else want to order something from McDonald's because y'all not playing?"
but I mean, the long right
Out of nowhere.
didn't make any mistakes yesterday.
Right.
But I'm going on record. I do not want people thinking that this guy can play. I mean, can we really? Let's not be prisoners of the moment, because Tibbs is going to put him back out there the next game.
I was just about to
Well,
ask
and
you,
if-
think you
And
gonna
if
get
he
the
plays to his capabilities,
Right.
it might not turn out pretty. I'm just warning people.
You just
Well,
said,
then he can always pull him. He can always pull
you
him.
said don't
And why
overuse
didn't Nick
that trump
get that-
card.
Yeah, don't. I mean,
Not a bad word.
we gotta.
No, it's a good one.
We got away.
Right, you
We
saw
got
point.
away with using this guy for
Right.
13 minutes last game.
13 minutes was
I
a
mean,
lot.
he got the wide open layup. He made one assist. He got no rebounds.
No.
So offensively, but what he did give us was a guy that's not making mistakes,
Right.
which Campaign was doing.
Oh my God.
Campaign
that's what I was gonna
was
say.
killing us
Campaign shouldn't get
with,
back
with,
in
with,
the game.
with his errors.
Right.
You
He
know,
ain't getting back in.
see, the long right knows he can't
Right.
play.
Right.
Campaign thinks he can play. He thinks he can
Wait
play.
a second. Wait a
Hey,
second.
Yo, that's good.
Green,
Yo,
I got a question to ask you, brother
Yeah,
Green.
right.
I gotta ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Now, let me ask you a question. What was the Knicks player that the Knicks just picked up at the end of the season, and they brought him in there, the one that used to play with them before? What's that?
PJ
What-
Tucker.
Right.
What? Yeah.
He's a
Has
coach
he played
and plays
Has he
clothes.
played-
He ain't seen it
Has he
before.
played in?
It's a CYO.
What's the sense of, what was the sense of getting him? Has he played in any of the series?
No.
No.
He's
emergency.
He's there to he's there to motivate the team and tell them, yeah, this is what it takes to
Right.
win a championship.
And he's
When I won my
emergency
ring-
forward.
Nah,
He's
man, come on.
emergency, man.
Be
You
serious.
don't break the glass until you actually a fire.
The glass will never get broken, even if it's a fire. But I agree with you, Ed. I agree with you wholeheartedly.
What was what's the purpose?
What was the
I
sense
agree.
of bringing
I
him?
Who else?
agree.
What was
Nobody
the-
else was available.
He's playing no
He's
regular
and he's a
season
veteran
games.
guy.
They could have put a player
He
on the
didn't
team,
play-
but they
he
wouldn't
didn't
use
play
the player
no
anyway.
regular season
Well,
games.
If
He
they
didn't know anything.
He's like
He just
40.
wasn't
He's
shooting
like
Yeah,
42.
I get what you're saying, but you're not
He didn't
getting
look
a
too
good
good.
player available
I
at
think
the
he's
end
in
of the
the
season. You're not getting that guy.
No.
He's in his
You
40s,
ain't
ain't
getting.
he?
Yeah,
Nah,
he's
you sure?
he's like late 30s.
He's 30,
He just told you. You're not going to get a good player at the
So
end of the
look that up
season on the
for
side.
me, man.
He's a veteran player. He know what he's doing if they put him out there because he can get him stay in
Hey,
front
Kurt,
of somebody.
Hey, Kurt, you mean to tell me that you wouldn't have had went down in the G League and got the best scorer out
No,
of the G League?
no,
and put him on your squad today?
No. I
Well,
take the
I-
veteran guy. I want the
I would've
veteran guy.
had it,
So you want
went to
Maurice
the
Cheeks
G
over
League
Russ.
No, I ain't say
and
Maurice
looked
Cheeks.
at them.
You said the
I
veteran.
said the
Whoever was
veteran
in the
guy
G League.
here at the end of this thing. I'll take the veteran guy because he know his place. He know he's not going to play, and if he put him in the game, I know he could do certain things.
PJ Tucker is 40 years old.
That's what I said. Oh, I
You
said
said
42.
42. Okay,
You
he had a
said
birthday.
39.
39.
But the bottom line is
40, 42.
Tom Thibodeau wants players on his bench
Right.
that don't want to play. That's what he wants on his bench. He wants the rookies. You know, you're not playing the Porty, Kolig, or
they ain't
Daddy.
playing. Yeah,
He's not playing those.
Unless it's a
He's not
blowout.
going to play PJ Tucker.
And maybe not
And-
then.
and-
I expected.
And I was shocked he played DeLone
Yeah.
Wright, who
I expected-
shouldn't be playing.
I didn't expect them. I expected Precious and Shannon.
Exactly.
I
To tell you
expected
the truth,
them to.
If they had to do it all over again, if Ty Gibson was still available,
Oh,
he
he'd
would
be-
have signed him.
Oh, that's what
Oh,
he,
They would have
man.
signed him.
Hey,
But
he
at least-
42?
at
He 42?
At least
Oh,
Todd Gibson could grab some rebounds.
I don't know.
So good questions, yo.
No, I'm saying
I'd rather have Precious for Ty Gibson. He'll sign him to play a
Dun,
couple
dun, dun.
of minutes with it.
I remember one time Gibson did he had an interview.
Right.
He said he was sitting on his couch one night and the Nick got hurt. And he said, I know that fool ain't gonna call me tonight. And he said about 3 a.m. he got a call. he said he wasn't even prepared to play basketball, but he
man.
knew he was gonna get that call.
He lounging in the living room and shit, man. Yo, I got some trivia y'all want to get into, man. What time is it?
Y'all brothers, go ahead. I'm gonna continue to listen.
All right, brother. Here we go.
All right, my brother.
All
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 right.
right.
You guys is the greatest, man. And I
Thank you,
feel
man.
fuck with y'all, man.
Appreciate you. Safe travels.
Yo,
brother.
keep your eyes on the road, man.
Got an
Just
auto
that, my
drive.
brother.
Oh, damn, whatever. All right. How many international players have won MVP? In the
Hold on. Todd Gibson
hung
is
up?
39.
He's 39.
Oh, he's 39?
Yeah.
Okay, so
All right.
you got,
And what's your
that's who
question
you
now?
talking about.
How many international players have won MVP in the NBA?
7.
Recently. That's
This
recently.
guy just-
There's more than that.
One more.
8
There's
then.
8. Can you name them?
You already-
The
Who was
last
the first one? Who was the first one?
the last 7 people.
You ain't answered my question.
That's a good question. Wait, in 2005.
No,
So,
way
25.
before that.
Embiid.
Way before that.
No,
Tony Kukoc.
No,
Tuchel ain't win no MVP.
Embiid.
Dirk.
no.
No.
Before
Before
Dirk.
Dirk is a
Before
no?
Dirk.
Not
Not the first one.
Oh,
No.
the front. Oh.
Definitely
I thought you
Shrimp.
meant-
No.
I thought you wanted us to name all of them.
No.
international.
You should be able to name the last 5, maybe.
I said Embiid.
Shea Gilgis.
Embiid.
Shea was the last
Gilgeous
one.
is one.
Who?
No,
Yo,
but the last. The
Tim
MVP.
Duncan.
Tim Duncan.
I know that.
Tim
International.
Duncan is one, but he's
Yeah,
not the first.
he's not
one.
the first.
Really?
Yeah.
Tim
Wait,
Duncan.
wait. They say Stephen A. said the Bahamas is part of the U.S.
He's not from the Bahamas.
He's not from the Bahamas.
He's from St. Thomas.
Virgin Islands.
Virgin
No,
Islands.
St.
right.
Croix.
U.S. Virgin
It's St.
Islands.
Croix. He's
He
He's
said
from
U.S.
right.
Virgin Islands is
And
part of
Bahamas.
the U.S.
Who cares what Stephen A. said? He ain't law.
He said it's
Not.
He probably ain't never been
Bahamas
there,
is
is it?
not part of the United States.
Well, I meant
Yeah, the Virgin Islands.
Virgin
Yeah.
Islands. U.S.
Virgin
Virgin
Islands.
I got Hakeem.
Yeah. Hakeem was the
Hakeem was
first
the
one.
first one?
Yeah.
Yeah. 93,
That makes
94
sense.
season.
That makes
Yeah.
So and there's 7 after him.
Yeah.
So you know,
And the
Did you name him?
No, wait.
I can't see Hakeem.
Duncan,
It was Dirk,
Right.
Duncan.
Yeah.
Don't
Embiid.
forget Steve Nash.
Steve Nash.
Embiid.
Embiid. Of course,
Jokic.
Joker.
Yup.
Shea
This
Gilgeous.
year, say
The
Gildas.
Greek freak.
Yeah, Giannis.
Right, Giannis. That's 8 right there.
Right. And
Yeah.
Shay was the
Yeah,
last
that's
one.
yeah, Shay.
Because they
That's
said
eight
it
right
on the
The
thing.
last 5, 6, or
The last-
national players.
yeah.
MVP.
Yeah, but I always tell people, I mean, Toronto is right on Lake Erie, so people who
So
come
that's
from
the U.S.
keep
too,
them, yeah. Forget what Trump said.
Cross the
Yeah,
border.
right,
Yeah.
Their lake.
Hey,
Half of that lake is theirs, right?
That's it.
But you want to change the name to
Yeah.
Trump Lake. Yeah, Lake Trump. Lake
He
Trump.
do? That's another one? Oh,
You want to do the Panama Canal that way.
Trump of America. Or something.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. First Latin player to win the Cy Young.
Fernando Valenzuela.
No.
Juan Marichal.
No.
I have no
Luis
idea.
Tia?
No.
Throw us a lifeline.
No, I just did. Latin,
yeah, that's
Latin
it.
player. First Latin player
he said
to
I,
win the Cy
He
Young.
said I did. A Latin player. Woo! It's a whole bunch of
I
them.
can't
that
go
fit.
past Juan Marichal.
It wasn't Wham
Yeah,
Marichal.
that's
Wow. The
That's
last.
a good guess.
Is
though.
it Pedro
that's-
Martinez?
No,
No, that was
that's way after.
Way
Oh.
after. Warren
Way
is-
after. There was
Last
this.
one to
70s.
win it?
The first one to win it.
Oh.
Oh, the first one. He said
First
the
one.
last one.
No, the first one.
Oh.
You got to give it to us. We
Hold on,
Okay,
hold on.
I'm gonna give you a hint.
Okay. Wow.
I'll give you the team.
Okay.
Baltimore Orioles.
Mike Quasar.
There you are. There you go.
Oh,
Cuban.
go Dave.
Praise on. Dun, 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 dun.
Okay. Who was the first rookie to win the Cy Young?
By the blue.
No.
Gibson.
That's
Gibson?
First rookie.
No. First rookie to win Cy Young.
Whitey Ford.
No.
Throw us a lifeline. New
New
York.
If I tell you the team, you'll get it.
Okay.
Tom Seaver.
No. Good guess. All y'all good guesses.
No, I can't.
you,
White
you said the name earlier.
Juan Marichal.
See?
Nope. Nope.
You said Fernando Venezuela. He said
There you go.
really?
That's him. He was the
Fernando.
first rookie.
He was the first one.
Okay.
He had a great season.
Yeah. Who was the first Latin to win MVP? You're never gonna get this.
Rico Cardi.
No. Rico Carter didn't win MVP.
I just put him out.
That's a good guess though.
Shout out to Cecil Postel's watching.
Rico Suave.
God, you was
Yo,
gonna
who
answer
is
you,
this
man.
guy, yo?
How do you lose?
No, that's a good guess.
How do you lose?
You're not gonna get the first guy. You'll know the other guys, but you're not gonna get the first guy.
Orlando Cepeda.
Cepeda was one, but he was like the third. He was like the third Latin to get it. This guy named, I'll give it because nobody gonna get it. His name was last name was Versailles.
Nah,
Played with the Twins,
even heard of
1965. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I saw the name. I didn't know who the hell it
MVP.
was.
Baseball goes so far
Zolo
back that You got
Versailles.
mad decades to think of.
Yeah. yeah.
Now, who was the second?
Vakaru.
No, Raku was the fourth, I think.
I have no clue.
Roberto Clemente was the second.
Ooh.
Roberto. okay.
Roberto Clemente was the second. Cepeda was the third. Raku was the fourth.
Ooh. Those guys was good.
Yes,
Now, I don't
they
know
were.
about the first.
I don't know who the first guy
Second,
was.
third, and fourth was. Shout out to G Gores.
Yeah. What's up, D? Yeah, that's about it today. I got a short list today.
All right.
Short list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was when I was in Miami this year,
Mhm.
I met the great Hall of Famer Bob McAdoo.
Get out of here, yeah?
And I had about a half an hour conversation with him.
Really?
Yeah.
Was
Oh,
it
wow.
Stephen?
No, we was at a tennis match. His daughter plays tennis.
Okay.
So I was at the Miami Open. And
Oh, John Green said he was a shortstop for the Twins.
he
Oh,
holds
okay.
he holds Joker in really high regard.
Really? Yeah.
You know, he works for the Miami Heat now.
Okay.
In their front office. And he said Joker might be one of the top 3 centers
But it was
Ever?
all-
of
when
all time.
it finished, yeah.
Yeah, but I debated him for
Hmm.
about 10 minutes
Over
on
that.
that because I said, you
Bringing
know,
up Shaq and all that.
what I said is, you know, when you looking at players, you know, we always look at both sides of the ball. You can't be a center and don't play defense.
And that can't play right.
You know,
Can't stop nobody.
So you know, so he was making his case. Who would go out there and check on? You know, Kareem's not going out there and everything. You know, so we had a nice lively conversation. You know,
Oh wow.
and I was telling him how you know how good he would be in this era.
Oh, please.
You know,
Everybody say they
so he was saying, you know, I didn't shoot threes. I said, yeah, but you got criticized for taking too many jump shots.
Right.
Imagine if you had a career where they was encouraging you to take jump shots.
Right.
Yeah.
Imagine how good you would be. Say, yeah, you got a point. You know.
Did you say something about a defense?
Huh?
Did you say anything about a defense?
No, I told Bob it was amazing because what happened? I got a picture with him, but I had my Nick hat on, so he was online right behind me. I said, "Yo, Bob, you remember these days?" And I pointed him to my Nick hat. So he said, "Yeah." I said, "See this gray? I remember everything about your career." Ernie D. DeGorio, Randy Smith.
Oh, wow.
I was like, you came to the Knicks. You averaged 26.7 points a game, and he was like, I don't even know all these things. I thought I know everything. I said, you came in and criticized you for shooting too many jump shots. You know,
Did you tell him
you led
you
the
was-
league in scoring 3 straight years.
Did you tell him you was
good.
abused as a child?
Huh?
Did you tell him you was abused as a child? You had to learn your stats.
Nah, man.
Yo.
Listen,
So you remember him and Spencer Haywood played together. Spencer Haywood was horrible.
oh yeah,
with the
he was
Knicks.
terrible.
He was,
terrible.
yeah.
Terrible, but you know he was real engaging, real nice dude,
dude.
man.
That's good.
Mellow.
Well,
I mean-
hold up. You know, like being a Knicks fan, you know, you go through all kind of. How many Knicks players you know never met a shot they ain't like? Bob McAdoo was one of them.
Dude,
Campanella Russell was another.
Carmelo is another. Too.
and Jalen Brunson is another.
I'm gonna ask you a question. What kind of career did Bob McAdoo have with the Knicks? How would you categorize his career with the Knicks? What kind of numbers do you think he put up with the Knicks?
I say,
was tough.
I say about 25, 26 points a game.
You know? Yeah, well, I mean, I gave it the 20s, but I just tell people
And he averaged double figure rebounds, didn't he?
with the Knicks, Bob McAdoo made he shot too many jump shots, right?
Right.
He made 53% of his shots,
Wow.
right?
Wow.
He shot 71 from the free throw line.
Mm.
This is just his Knicks career. He averaged 12 rebounds a game with the Knicks,
Not bad.
right? 3.3 assists, 1.3 steals, 1.4 blocks,
Which is
26.7 points a game.
Wow.
Wow.
We had a good career.
How many
That was
seasons-
deep.
For the Knicks, that was good.
With the Knicks.
How many
Wait, but-
seasons was he with the Knicks?
3, 4.
He played 3 years with the Knicks, part of 3 years. Yeah. But
Wow.
what I'm saying is we criticized him because we didn't win.
When that was,
But-
he wasn't there.
But
It wasn't his
Bob
fault.
McAdoo
He left it on the
was
court.
incredible.
Yes.
And his numbers with the Knicks was just the same as he had it with Buffalo.
Buffalo.
But he come to the Knicks, you got all that scrutiny.
Right.
And people just, you know, would hold him down.
Shout out to Chris White.
That's
Wow.
good. Man.
Yeah.
What up,
Wow.
Chris?
What up,
Yeah.
Chris?
That's crazy.
Yeah,
man.
but
he was good.
He had
He
a
was
guy
really good.
like when we was leaving. One of the guys seen me with a Nick hat. One of his friends.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Yeah, man, Bob, he know." He said, "No. He knows everything."
Everything.
He said, "He remember you used to play for the Knicks." He said, "Yeah, he remembers everything."
Wow, was real good. Man. But like you said, they didn't have a good team, man.
What is he, like 70 something, man?
Not sure. You got to be around that age. Yeah, got to be around that age.
He got a ring with the Lakers, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think couple maybe.
Why
Yeah,
you think
when Magic
he
was there.
Raleigh? He's one of Raleigh's dudes. It's
Right.
Magic.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Raleigh.
He's 73.
73. Did he play with Miami Heat though?
Yeah.
He did.
He played with Philly. Didn't he?
I
Play
don't
with Philly?
remember him
I don't remember
playing
him on
on
the
the
Heat.
No, I don't remember him on the Heat.
He played with Philly, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Right. He was assistant coach. I
Did he
remember
play
that.
with Philly? I think that's when his scoring wasn't as high like that, right?
There's some guys when you
Look
remember
at
them
that.
near the tail end of their careers, like
They different.
like Ewing with Seattle. Oh my God. Yeah.
Right, you don't remember
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's nice, man.
you don't
That's
remember
all
them
right,
being
man.
with them.
He played 14
Oh,
years.
that's the
Buffalo,
camera.
That's nice.
14 years. Buffalo Braves, New York Knicks, Boston Celtics, Detroit Pistons, New Jersey Nets, Los Angeles Lakers, and then Philadelphia.
Oh, he did play.
Okay, he did.
And
He also played overseas.
And he told me about his career because we traded him to Boston. But I'm not going to tell you what he did about Boston.
But not on
I love to hear what he
I'm
said
not,
about
I'm not going to share that with you.
Not
What
on
he said
camera.
about
Not on
Boston.
camera.
Not on camera.
Oh, okay.
You know, that's
I
between
believe
me
When
and
we
him.
get over here, you know, make sure you don't forget.
Yo, man, we got to show the need ratings. You got to just the dirt. Just
No, we can't do that. We can't do that. He said it in confidence.
Like, okay, what's another thing? Didn't Dominique play with Boston?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I was
yeah.
saying.
Right, Dominique
He
with
played with
Boston.
Boston. And when
I'm
Bird
trying to think
Well,
of some other.
Dominique is the first major player or superstar that got traded in the middle of the season
Right.
for another player. The first, they said that.
We got trade for Danny Manning.
Yes.
Oh
Yeah,
my
Danny
God.
Manning.
And
Danny
when
Manning.
they traded him, Atlanta went straight down.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, but that was Lenny Wilkins.
Yeah, but I'm just saying he was the
that,
first,
That was right.
Yeah.
That was hard.
and he was leading the team in scoring and
And scoring.
everything. Yeah.
But you know what it was? It was like when Lenny came in and they were like, "This is Nick's team," and he's like, well, "You know, that's where I get that."
Mhm.
Wait a minute, I thought this was the Atlanta Hawks. Like
Right.
when somebody
right.
say, "Well, this is such and such team," and I'm like, I'm grabbing Lenny Wilkins line. Wait, I thought this belonged to James Dolan. Like, yo, saying this is Brunson team. I thought
Right.
Dolan owned the team,
Right.
but you know, which is
True.
which is somewhat true. And Wilkins was trying to break the culture, so he shipped
Dominique.
Doc Rivers and Dominique to
The Clippers.
Clippers for Danny Manning and somebody else, and that was just terrible.
And a bunch of throw-ins.
Yeah,
And then when Mark
and
went to the
Danny Manning only
Clippers,
stayed
they
there
started
1
winning.
year.
Right.
When Mark went there, they won.
Danny Manning only stayed there 1 year in Atlanta.
Mhm.
I believe he bounced after.
Yeah, he had that great college
Oh, that's what.
championship, but
Exactly.
after he never really lived up
Yeah. He
to
never really
becoming
panned
a
out, right.
superstar. He
Right.
was okay. He was a good player,
He was a good player.
but he never, took his game to that next level.
Mhm.
I was reading something about that, and you know how much hatred they had in because Atlanta got rid of Dominique,
He was
and
beloved.
they suffered.
Yeah.
Ain't they suffering like the Knicks? They ain't win nothing.
I think a little
They-
worse.
Yeah. They ain't
I think they're a
win.
little worse than us. Because
At
You
least,
remember?
at least we've been to the finals.
You
Yeah.
remember Pete Maravich and Sweet Lou Hudson
Oh,
in the
yeah.
back?
I remember them.
No.
Lou Hudson didn't
Bellamy.
like him because he was getting the spotlight and he was getting paid more.
And Walter Bellamy, he was.
Walt Bellamy,
I remember they
Walt Hazard.
when they had Dominique. Like I used to feel so bad
Oh,
for them
man.
because they used to play Spud Webb at
Right.
point guard. And how you gonna win with Spud Webb at
Right.
point?
But they always wound up playing the Celtics.
A
all the
6'7",
time,
a 6'7", I mean, excuse me, a
5'7"
5'7" point guard that had no handle or jump shot. And this is your starting point guard.
But they
Bugsy
no,
was-
they had
Bugsy was up
no. It
in
was
there.
Doc Rivers
no, I'm just saying
when they
when-
traded
Bugsy
Doc.
was up in there too.
when they had Spud.
was
there.
When Spud was
Yeah.
there.
Yo, Spud came off the
He
bench,
was up
but they
out-
had
he
a
was
good
in
team.
the league.
They had
Bugsy was in the league, so-
Cliff
Kevin Willis.
Livingston, Kevin Willis. They
Yeah,
had
yeah.
They even had
Had a
what's
great
the other
team.
dude? No, the other guy, the other big forward. He came off the bench. He played with Antoine. Oh shit,
Carr?
Antoine Carr.
Antoine
That's
Carr,
what I'm
yeah.
thinking of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bruiser.
Yeah, well, him and what's his name, Carr, they played in college together
Yeah.
and whatnot. Oh man, that was a good team. They had some
Yeah,
hoppers
they
on
had
that team.
some,
man.
but that point guard situation.
Yeah, they
was-
did. Yeah, they did. And then they transformed after that. Remember, it was Steve Smith and Mookie Blaylock. After that, so, they had some decent teams and whatnot, man. But it's funny when you start seeing these older players after they had injuries or whatever, and they still hanging on and playing with different teams and whatnot, man. Sometimes it just be sad. I say, like, I remember this guy was real good and whatnot,
Yeah.
man.
So let's mix it up for a second. Let's chop it up about football a little bit. Being that Greg coming here with a sparkling jet green hat on.
That's right.
What is
Hope. Keep hope alive.
Oh my God.
and how long has this curse been going on?
Oh, wait, this is
So-
since Namath wagged that one finger. We ain't been right since.
Oh.
We ain't been right since.
So Coach Kirk, you did post the drought in the New York Championship.
It was what the Jets wasn't on there.
The Jets was on there.
Right.
They was one of the longest
Oh,
teams.
we had one.
So like
69.
So I was just getting at that to mention because I was listening to Get Up this morning and they were saying, is Pittsburgh really waiting for Aaron Rodgers? Like they said, Aaron Rodgers is so horrible. Like over the last 5 years, he's not the Aaron Rodgers that, you know.
Is anybody the same?
But like, so
Well, obviously he's better than what they got at quarterback. If they take
I mean,
him,
but
they feel
Mason
that he's
Rudolph.
just to play mind games, is Pittsburgh really going to do
But
that?
if that man
And
said,
where are they going?
if
So
the
I'm
man
not.
said
I'm
today-
only listening
right,
to what he was saying. I'm not taking that stance.
right.
It's not me. I'm like just like we're listening. Like
Is your team? Will your team take him? My
he's
question
not
is
really the GM though.
no.
So he really
Hold
can't
on.
answer.
So
Here it is.
would your team take him? He called right now, said he wanted to play. Would they take him
For what team?
for Pittsburgh?
For Pittsburgh.
First of all, I find it very disrespectful that y'all talking over about my team. I'm sitting right here.
You ain't say
Like,
nothing.
hello,
You didn't
I'm
say
right
anything.
here.
Say
All
something
right?
then. Speak up.
I don't
Speak
think
up.
I need to speak on it.
Why not?
Because I don't know what's going on right
Because
now.
he knows.
How
it's-
you not know that's your team?
They're not consulting him.
Oh,
They're
that's right.
Like I said,
like I said,
all we need is somebody to manage the team. As far as quarterback, manage the game.
You got
That's-
somebody who could do that, right?
That's all we need right now. The defense looks sound, looks decent. I got to see how the receivers in the running game hold up, and I got to see how the offensive line hold up.
That sounds like
What it sound like?
hogwash.
No, it's
Come
not-
on, my
it's not-
brother.
it's not
No, how
hogwash.
are you going to say you don't know what
you
the
know why I'm
receivers
saying-
can do, the running backs can
Because
do,
we got a new receiver.
the offensive line can do,
No, the
but you
offensive-
saying you just need a manager
Right,
and a quarterback?
I just
Come
need
on,
somebody to
you're not
manage
even
the
being
team.
serious right
Because
now.
we just let Pickens go. So
So you need more than a manager.
no.
How you got
no.
a manager?
As if Will Howard is if
next
Howard
one
if
year
Howard
more.
gets this spot and Rodgers doesn't show up, if Howard gets the spot, then he's gonna be the game manager. That's it. If Rudolph gets the spot, he's gonna be the game manager. With time, they'll get better. This is what
Oh,
I'm
you saw this already.
this is what I'm expecting. I
Yeah,
don't think I've seen it, bro.
Yeah, you did.
but I just want to say this about Aaron Rodgers.
You saw
right?
it.
Those my guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
Oh yeah, I did see this.
Aaron Rodgers is he was the coach of the Jets. I mean, the quarterback for the Jets last couple of years, right? I don't think his talent is completely done,
I don't think so either.
but I will say that his style of play
Hmm.
is antiquated,
Okay.
and he you can't play football the way he wants to play football.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers likes to get to the line of scrimmage, make hand gestures to his
Mhm.
receivers, and have them do things that he sees that the defense is weak
Right.
at.
Yeah.
But the league is far caught up with that.
Hmm.
Your little faking, trying
Right,
to get
yeah.
guys off sides, and it's
I don't
past
think- I
that.
don't
We have
know.
moved past that.
I gotta disagree on that because that could be the fact that he was with the Jets.
No,
know what I'm saying?
when he was with the Packers
That's
at the
when
end
he
of
was
his
a power
Packer
back.
career,
That's when he was a power.
but at the end of his
At the
Packer
end of his
career,
right.
the guy was 25th in QBR his last year in Green Bay.
I don't
He
know.
just ahead of Russell
Yeah,
Wilson.
Well, you don't know because maybe you don't want to know because you're ready to accept him.
Well, I'm gonna if he comes, he comes because that's really out right now. Other than Pickens leaving, I'm looking at the team. Maybe the D-backs and the quarterback is the two weakest positions. I'm hoping the offensive line.
Maybe.
I'm hoping the offensive line. Yeah, because I don't know which one is weaker than the other.
Well, how about the quarterback?
Now I said quarterback.
I thought you said cornerback.
No, I said corner. I said the
QB.
D-backs and the quarterback.
Okay, my bad.
The D-backs and the quarterback
Okay.
are the two weakest positions out of all the rest of the
Who's your
squad.
running back, man?
Warren and the new guy.
Oh, you can put that in there too.
No,
Yeah.
no. I can't put
Because
that
the
in.
offensive line got to make holes for
The
him.
offensive line is
Shout out
is
to
what I'm
Adrian
hoping
Adams,
that is
Blocky.
better.
Adrian Adams.
It's only
Adrian
Broderick.
Adams.
It's only Broderick Jones that's hurting that offensive line right now.
Say only him.
Yeah, it's only him.
He was,
He gets
wasn't he
false
he was the
starts.
first round draft pick, right?
It don't matter. He gets false starts. The guys be slipping past them. You know what I'm saying? He's the weak spot of the group right now.
You know what your strong spot on the team is? Tomlin.
No, he's not. No,
Tomlin is your.
Look.
Tomlin.
They all got a chance to watch him now that I'm here. They can make their own assessment.
Tomlin.
Trust me. No, he's not.
Your
no,
team,
he's not. No, he's not.
And let me ask you a question.
No,
Do you feel your
not.
team underachieved
Let me
last
tell
year?
you something.
Do you feel your team?
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Jack. When I first got here, that was the first thing they said about that. Do you feel he underachieving? No, he makes the playoffs. Trust me, they don't watch these games. They know what time it is.
But I said, do you feel he underachieved?
No, he does the same thing every. Yes, he does underachieve.
How does he
because
underachieve? You think your talent level on this team? You
No,
just said
wait,
you don't know
wait,
about
this
your
is
wide
what- wait,
receivers, your
This is
running
what I'm
backs,
gonna tell you.
your
This
offensive
is what I'm
line,
gonna tell you.
and y'all still 500.
This is what I'm gonna tell you. When you have a team like that, and you know every game is going to be close, there's certain times you don't take chances. You take the points. You put the points on the board. You know your defense is good enough to maybe stop this team. You put the points on the board and you let the defense play. You don't take chances and now you put the defense back in a situation and they're tired and you got a sporadic offense. You don't do that. You got a kicker that can kick 55 yarders on a consistent basis, and you sometimes you don't even give him a chance to kick.
Bro,
I'm telling you, man.
is your team as talented as the Ravens?
No.
Is your team as talented as Cincinnati?
Yes.
What? Please.
Yes.
Offensively?
He didn't say offensively. He said team.
Y'all are not
He
as
said
talented.
team.
Your team
He didn't
is
say
not.
offensively.
What
He
happened?
said a team.
Okay. Y'all had it. Y'all started off good in the beginning. Then when you started in the second half of the season, you started playing harder teams. And you started losing those games.
And some of them games,
Right.
you didn't remember him taking stupid chances, and you was like, "Why did he do that?" Come on now.
Well, you was watching them, right?
Right. Yeah. I was watching them. Y'all wasn't watching them.
Who's the best player on your offense right now? Who's the best player on your offense?
Probably.
Is not very good.
Pickens is gone.
But is not very good.
I'm gonna say
when it's your team and you say is not a good player.
I'm trying to think of all the players.
What's the guy from San Francisco you just got?
No, I'm gonna say it's between Warren and the new receiver.
What's his name?
Metcalf.
Okay.
Metcalf, right?
Oh, he's from Seattle.
They got Seattle. They got
Okay.
Metcalf.
Okay.
You got.
But that's not the point. You're not getting the point. I'm gonna give you an example. Did you see I'm gonna give you the very first game, the Atlanta game when they played Atlanta Falcons and Kirk Cousins was their quarterback.
Okay.
You know what happened in that game, late?
I don't remember.
All right, 4th and 2.
There you go.
That's right. We up 15-10.
Okay.
All right. There's 4 minutes left.
4th and 2.
Boswell's kicked 4 50-yarders
Right.
and a 30-yarder.
And it's scored. What score? 14.
It's 15-10.
15-10.
4 minutes left.
Right.
Right.
You up.
We at the 20 or the 30-yard line.
Okay.
I think we was at the 24 or something like that.
Okay.
Right. It's 4th down. What are you doing? What are you doing? It's
Kicking the
15-10.
Kicking the field goal.
Stop.
15-10. I'm kicking a field goal.
All right. You know what Tomlin did?
What
Went
he
for
He
it.
did a rollout with freaking what's his name? The black quarterback that y'all got now?
Both of them was black.
No, the one you got.
Fields.
Fields.
He did a rollout with Fields and they get the first down. Why you doing that? It's 4 minutes left. The defense kept you in the game the whole game.
So what?
You know what happened?
What subsequently happened?
You know what? What subsequent?
I know the answer already.
I'm gonna
but-
tell you. What happened was the
That's
defense stopped them
Right.
and we kicked the field goal.
And you won the game.
We won the game. See, this is what y'all go to.
Oh.
This is what y'all go to when what was the you always go to what was the result. No, that's not the result. You don't do that.
I listen.
All right, I'm gonna give you the Coke game. The Coke game later on, they watched this game because they was talking about it on the text. The same thing with 4th and 2. We're at hour 40. We're going into halftime. What does Tomlin do?
He goes
for it. Don't get it. They kick a field goal. We lose the game by 2. Come on, man. He does this all the time.
right,
If
so-
you a Steelers fan,
He's not a Steelers
he
fan.
does
He's a
this
Jet
3
fan.
times a
But
year.
listen,
he
but-
does that 3 times a year.
Listen, but
Come on, man.
I always
He's a
look.
weak
I always
link,
look.
man.
I evaluate coaches.
He's
right.
a weak
It's simple
link,
as
man.
that.
If he stopped doing that,
Do-
we might
do you
have
feel-
11 or 12 wins.
Do you
in a
feel
game.
your team overachieved or underachieved?
No, we underachieved
When you look,
because he
you
made
assess
bad
your
decisions.
talent. You assess your talent level
No.
right? And then when you're being honest, you say, okay, where should this team be, right? I guarantee you, the Steelers every year when Vegas comes out with their odds of how many games they're gonna win,
Right.
they always over. They always seem to be
But
over
see,
every year. Like this year,
this
in
is
my
the
mind, this year Pittsburgh should be a horrible team this year. Y'all should not be a good team.
Yeah, I
They
say
should not be a
500.
good team.
Maybe
They should be
500.
under 500.
Oh wow.
They should be under
My
500. But
thing is
somehow they always wind up
Right. So then
fooling you
Right.
and making
so
a
it makes it look
playoffs.
like he a good coach. But then when you look at when you micro all the games singly, you're like, dang, he could have won this game. He could have won that game.
They
All right,
always
so-
could have with him.
No,
All right,
you
so
can't
we need to
do
wrap
it.
this
You
up.
can't sit-
So,
sit-
like,
sit-
let me
take
just
chances all
answer the
time.
question.
And you got a team that's gonna be
Answer the
every
question
game.
right
You
here.
can't do that.
Who would you rather have, Tomlin or Thibodeau?
No, he ain't gonna.
Tomlin because Thibodeau's not a football coach.
Obviously, okay, well, you answer. And as far as you're concerned with the Jets, are you happy with what you got as a coach and where they're going?
Well, with a new coach, you never know where the team is going to go. You know, you don't know.
6 or 7
You
wins.
don't know. You don't know what kind of culture they're going to establish.
Right.
You know, there's some things that I see already going on that I don't like, but overall, I thought the first 2 draft picks I thought were pretty good. Even though I would never take a tackle with the 7th pick of the draft.
They need
But-
everything.
But you know, I like the kid Mason Taylor, which is Jason Taylor's son. And I think he's going to be a pretty good tight end. We haven't had a good tight end probably since Dustin Keller.
Right.
You know, so but the rest of the draft picks, you know, I wasn't too high on
What
them.
school did Mason Taylor go to?
He went to LSU.
LSU.
Yeah. Yeah, he you know, they underutilized him, but I think he got a lot of gas in the tank.
Okay.
But a tight end from last year, you know, he don't block, you know, so we got a lot of holes on this team, especially on offense. But you got to see what kind of identity we got.
Right.
I mean, you can't judge a new coach until you actually give him an opportunity.
Was he the defensive coordinator or was he an offensive coordinator?
No, defense.
And when he was at
Defense,
Detroit?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a former corner. You don't remember? He was
I
on the
remember him
Jets?
as a player, but I
as
just,
a player,
I forgot what he was.
Yeah, it was a
at
D back.
Detroit.
He was
Okay.
a D back.
Okay.
I keep telling these guys they can do these jobs. They just need time and experience.
But they've been doing it. They've been doing it for years. They've been doing it for years.
Yo, show him the certificate again, because I don't think you read it. I don't think you read it right.
I don't know.
He's under probation.
Yeah.
Can he
He's
read?
still on the
Can he
probation.
read? Can he
Yeah,
read?
he's still on the probation.
Yeah, got to recognize.
He can't even do
guys,
stat
bro.
boy stuff right.
Yeah.
I keep telling you guys, they just need a chance. They just need a chance.
That's just a chance. That's
Give
all
them an
we need.
opportunity.
Now the Giants, on the other hand, I'm gonna give them a little shout out to the defensive players that they added. You know, so they should have a really good pass rush this year.
They got to be able to score too
So the
now.
defense is
Yeah.
going to hold them
Well, they
back.
got Russell Wilson, so you know. And what's that?
All
And
right.
Justin and
So
what's his
look,
name?
Well,
So look, I want y'all to pay attention to Russell Wilson,
I got you.
all right? Because now he with the Giants,
Okay.
all right? Because he was with us.
He's 1 year older
All right.
too.
And how'd you
1 year
feel
older.
about
Attention to detail.
He's 1
How'd you
year
I
feel
older.
liked him when he first got there.
He's
Okay.
1 year older.
But when it's 3rd and inches, when it's 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, he got a tendency of going for it all.
Oh, that's why you Russell Wilson.
And you don't want that sometimes.
Well, that depends on what the coach let him do.
I'm telling you.
I would tell people Russell Wilson is like 5'10", right?
Yep, yeah.
When he's behind the offensive line, he doesn't throw the ball over the middle of the
Right,
field
right,
well, right? Because he can't see over
Right,
the
yeah,
lineman.
see over, right.
So he always takes deeper drops,
Right.
which leads him to throw deeper passes.
Right.
You know, he goes for the home run hit
goes
because
for the
he's
home
not
run
able
a
to
lot.
throw that quick slant.
Sure.
He don't throw
needs
the
to
quick
throw
slant.
that sometimes.
I
man.
mean,
That
when he
dude
was
doesn't-
with Seattle, they had a running game
Right.
and a deep pass in the game.
right.
But now you require him to do other
To do
things,
other
Right.
and
He's
that's
not
that's
good.
not his strength. You
Right.
got to play to his strengths.
Right.
And now he's getting older.
Right.
You know, he had his
Yeah.
time where he
Right.
was really,
Mhm.
really good.
Right.
But now, you know, he's just
Yeah, because that's what he was doing.
So,
with
and
us.
you got Mistake Man backing them up.
but
Who's
I
that?
Jameis Winston.
yeah.
Oh,
But,
He can throw a football, but
He can
throws
throw,
right.
but he make a
throws
lot
right.
of
let's,
sense.
he accurate?
let's see if Wilson healthy. Let's see if he makes the whole 17. Let's see if you play the whole 17 game.
but
Somewhere down the line, they might switch.
let me ask you a question. You said that was your team last year. What would
No,
you
I'm saying
okay.
he was on my team.
No, I know. I'm saying he was on your team last year. Now, Justin Fields was on your team last
Right.
year.
He couldn't
Now,
move the- he couldn't move the team.
who do you think played better, Wilson or Fields?
I believe Fields. I believe Wilson played better.
Thank you.
Because Fields couldn't move the team.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. So everybody that's really high on Fields being our quarterback,
Well,
with
I'm
the
not
Jets,
high on it.
Just realize this dude
he couldn't move
doesn't
the team. I saw
move
that.
football teams.
The reason why I was talking about the first game when Boswell kicked 5 field goals. Part of the reason was because Fields couldn't move the team. Now I gave him a pass because obviously he just getting in. That's the first game, and he had one game I believe that was good. He put up 21 points, but the minute Russell came in there, we started putting up more points. You know what I'm saying? Like we was in the games, and it wasn't always because of defense.
Was that because of the schedule? Because it wasn't the same in the second half of the season.
Right. Well, this is what I'm saying. This was when I started seeing his weaknesses.
Right.
When it's close, when it's 4th and 2, and 3rd and 2, and we go for it. Instead of him getting 3 yards, he going to go for 30, 40 yards. Like, dude, you just trying to get the pass interference now? Like, what's good? You know what I'm saying? Now, some of those worked.
Right.
Because remember, when we first got, what was the receiver we got in that Raven game? We just got him, and he scored. He didn't do nothing that whole game, but then he caught that touchdown.
You talking about the older receiver?
Yeah, what was his name? You remember?
I know
he
you're
come from
talking.
Denver?
I know you talking about. I can't.
Right.
Remember his name.
So it did work a few times, but
Right.
for the most part, just get the first down and let's
Right.
keep going. And that's the difference between having him and maybe having Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers ain't going to throw the bomb every play.
But he could throw the
when
ball
he-
across the middle.
Yeah, look. If we get Rodgers, we get Rodgers. I think they're just gonna go this way. They looking at this dude looking like a Big Ben prototype, and I think that's what they want to do. So I'm fine.
But I want to drop a quick name so for y'all to pay attention to. Ashton Genty. Running back.
The running back.
Raiders. Rookie of the year. He's gonna be the next big time
Where did he
running
go?
back.
You sure about that?
The
Yeah,
Raiders?
with the Raiders.
Don't we got
Yeah.
Caleb
What their
Johnson?
offensive line look like?
Oh, they improving.
Yeah.
They got a couple of guys that
Yeah, it's Caleb Johnson. You sure about that?
Huh?
You sure about that?
What, the rookie of the year? Yeah, I'm
All right.
I'm putting that out
We got
there.
Caleb
Sticking
Johnson.
with that.
I'm putting that out
We got
there.
Caleb Johnson.
Caleb
He
Johnson.
patterns his game. He patterns his game around Le'Veon Bell. So
Okay.
you sure about that?
I'm positive about that. Genty gonna be
Everything
a problem.
depends on the offensive line. I don't
That's
care what
true.
anybody
That's
says.
true.
Shit, man.
Yeah.
Get it around. Go around with it.
All right. So, all right, y'all. Good show. We need to wrap it up. Let's go, Knicks. Game 4 is tomorrow, Tuesday night. Game 5 is Thursday.
Like this.
And if I'm correct, if it'll be game 6, it'll be Saturday. So we'll be back here on Monday looking for the closeout if there's a game 7.
Minnesota winning tonight? Yes or no?
No,
Yes.
no,
No for you? What
I
you
say
think?
yes.
I say yes too.
no.
I say it's a close game though.
Gotta put
I
the
say
ham on
I
it
say
now.
OKC gonna make a statement.
Uh-oh.
That's right.
I mean,
They
you
the
know,
best
one
team
game.
right now. They got to do it.
I agree with y'all. We should have talked about that a little longer
Yeah.
about the 40-point differential. But it's
That's
a
a
new
small
game.
thing.
It's even
Right,
even
that's a
now.
small
So
thing.
let's
Regroup.
go. Right. So let's see
L is
what's
an
up.
L, whether it's 4 or 40.
That's
You
correct.
got that right.
Doesn't
All right.
matter.
So Greg, start it off. Thank you.
All right, everyone. Great show. Thank you for everyone for listening. Todd, I gave him the eyes for you, bro. I don't know if he was watching because he was over here acting up. But be safe, everyone. Enjoy the day.
The Relic.
All right, Triple G team, highest rated show for the year. Let's go.
Oh shit.
GT.
Thank y'all for having me. You know, it's been real.
Appreciate y'all
You
as
know,
always.
I think our mood was in a pretty good space, being that we won last night.
Yes.
Would have been very somber in here if we had a loss.
Oh, man,
But
I've been
you know,
killing y'all right now.
hopefully these smiles will start staying on our face.
You said a mouthful there,
All right,
Greg.
Coach Kurt.
Want to thank everybody who took the time to listen to us. Shout out to Serge. Hope you feel better. Shout out to
Feel
Todd.
better, Serge.
Enjoy that down whatever, Delaware cooking or whatever.
Right.
And everybody here, get home safe. Anybody that listened to us on the radio, thank you.
Wow. So, all right, y'all. So we'll be back. Thank y'all. Happy holidays. Peace and blessings, everybody. and we'll be back next week. Tell a friend, tell a foe. We're here. See y'all. Peace.
Out. Handsome.